We just showed up and I twiddled some knobs and we started talking about things.
Oh, wait, are we podcasting now?
I guess so.
Oh, we're the best.
Oh, we're recording. Well, we're recording. I wouldn't call
This
it
will not make it
podcast.
in because the levels are probably still completely fucked.
Right.
I assume we sound all amazing.
You guys do.
Oh,
Do we
'cause-
need to crank our stuff up or are we good?
You're good.
Okay,
Cool.
sweet.
Are you saying we don't sound amazing, Jeremy?
Not yet.
I always sound amazing.
We're always on our game.
I have a little mic envy right now.
I agree.
I wish I brought my whiskey now.
You know, it's just upstairs.
Check. I'll probably sit more like this, actually. Check. Talking with voices with loudness. Testing for volumes.
That's good.
Now when I speak with my pops.
One more beer.
Pop.
After that, you're done.
We'll be mid-set. It's like,
Pop. Pop.
Is that the cut point?
Pop. Pop. Yeah.
All right.
You know what would be rad if they have these things I call mic stands? These would be so useful.
Okay, so I was
anyone ever thought
presented
about
with
that, like,
the
putting a mic on
alternative
a
packing my
stand?
bag because I have one carry-on, and the choice is mic stands or beer.
no, you made the
I
right
think I
decision.
chose the right
You
way.
made the right decision.
Mic stands.
All right. I think we're good.
Hold on. Hold on.
Now we are.
Now we're good to go. Sound guy's got a boo. Or brew.
On a scale of 1 to 17 and a half, what are we talking
How
about?
broken is
faction
Una?
scale? 17.
So who here has already eBayed a couple of griffins for 5 times their retail value?
Yeah.
I don't have any. I made poor life choices years ago and didn't end up with any griffins.
You made
You mean
poor
didn't
life
place their-
choices and didn't wind up with 5 Scarsfell Griffins in Mark II?
Well,
You fool.
Clearly.
What were you doing?
They were clearly the best
I was not
griffin
ready.
in Mark II.
I mean,
boy.
I'm not gonna lie. Like when I got here, after hearing about what Una did, when Carl like accosted me in the lobby, it was like, oh my god, what did Una do? Like I immediately went to like the dealer's room and started looking for griffins. I'm not gonna lie.
So is Carl's your guy's like token ex-Texan guy in your meta? Yeah.
We
Yeah,
imported him. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Hi.
Our fifth teammate when we went to the team championship was our token ex-Texan also.
Hey, KC cleaned up in DTC. Just saying.
Yeah.
we did well.
Team Red Scrubs.
Probably shouldn't talk about that too closely to them.
What? They're not here. Are they?
They're right behind you. Literally right behind you.
Damn it.
What are you doing?
Oh, well, should have won their games. Apparently, we should have been headhunting Team White, though. Who knew?
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
Warmachine, apparently.
Ben, you had the topics. We got like a Trello board, but
Good luck reading that shit.
I have my misspelled and poorly articulated notes. If you're talking about that, that's
We should probably talk about first impressions of the juniors, since like this
Yeah,
is the
sure.
day we found out.
yes.
you're the
Yeah.
only one with the updated war room.
Troll 1 is hands down the
Is
best.
War Room
so-
updated?
I can't get it to update.
I
haven't been
downloaded
able to
an
get
There's
update
an
and then
app
it doesn't
update,
show.
but they don't have the new cards.
I love how
in
you
them.
say the troll ones
I
are
haven't
best,
even
and then
seen
you
the
look
app
at me
update.
just to watch my reaction.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
I
he is the
yeah,
best.
we've got the Zaadesh apologist here. So.
No, like, oh god.
The scorn apologist.
So here's the
I'm
thing,
so
though.
sorry, Scorn.
I actually no,
I'm
like
so
I actually
sorry.
think Zaadesh. I don't think he's obviously powerful, but I think he's good.
Wait,
Like,
is there-
I think he's
are
a
we gonna
solid
intro
caster.
ourselves and
No. God damn it.
No.
no.
We're a bunch of randoms
If you've
from
been
Warmachine
listening
Weekend.
long enough to get to this and then turn it off after 4 seconds, we're in. We're like in there. It's like fucking bacteria.
right.
Keep
L2
going now.
Wargame.
Sorry.
You can go now
So-
with podcasts.
that
So like Zaadesh, like the thing about Zaadesh is that, like, I feel like he wants, like, a really powerful battle group, but he doesn't want a huge battle group. And, like...
How many Artist Sentinels and Token Titan Gladiator can you take in the same list?
So I was actually dojoing
Or I
him
guess
earlier.
soldiers.
All
Maybe
shamans.
soldiers.
All shamans.
God,
all
damn
shamans.
it.
All the
13
time.
shamans.
All in a shaman.
15 Shaman Xerxis 2, boom! No, like, I was dojoing him earlier. I think he wants, like, Despoiler, and then an Arabic Soldier, and then maybe, and, like, maybe Tiberian, or a Sentry. I don't know yet. Like, I feel like he wants, like, a powerful battle group, but he doesn't need a huge battle group to do his job.
But Tiberian gets you... Can Tiberian countercharge now?
No.
Didn't they just
No.
give him... Doesn't he just have the thing can't be placed or moved now?
Yeah, he has immovable object, or whatever.
But I
Well,
don't-
that's what
it's
he
not
had
the
before,
same as it
but
used
they
to be.
made some
No, it's
change
not.
so he can actually overtake.
Is it just say during activation? Let's check since War Room works.
Yeah.
Tiberian. A movable object says the spell cannot become knocked down, cannot be placed, and cannot be moved by a push, slam, or throw. So
wow.
it's like the best of every world.
So he
Except for
he
the bit
can
where he can be
countercharge.
rampagered
He
now,
is crit
which
pitch,
sucks.
or crit-
Well, it used to be character immune, but now, yeah.
Now,
He's
now,
decided-
now life
They
sucks for
decided
Tiberian.
Dominate and Rampager was not strong enough.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
know.
clearly
That blows
wasn't.
me away. It's like you picked literally the strongest spell in the game, and you made it better.
Whoa. Stranglehold. Step back.
Okay, okay.
Only
I had a list that was at least partially premised on abusing that. So
Oh,
yeah.
really? You play Wormwood too?
No, this is Xerxis 2 back
Oh.
in the old edition.
Oh, so you were going to cast it the one time.
Oh yeah.
it was going to be cute.
Well, no, Marketh was going to cast it too, which is also hilarious.
So the list I've kind of dojoed up for him is Zaadesh 2, a Soldier, Despoiler, Tiberian, a Gladiator, because Rush is required, an Agonizer, you have a full Carax, a Tycom, Beast Handlers, and then a Swamp Gobber's Bellows Crews,
Didn't
because...
you just tell me you didn't need a big battle group?
Well, okay,
But
but no.
powerful.
Hold on, though. Like,
This shit needs to break bridges.
Well, why?
You just need a big
I
battle group
don't
because
like,
there's no
and
mammoth.
that's just it, though. Like, this is
The
version
mammoth?
1.0,
No.
right? So, like, I'll
No,
continue
that'd
to
be
work on it. But the thing is like the Agonizer, I feel like, is probably required if you're gonna like play the
Is it?
defensive
Scorn.
strike
If you're
game.
going to play Scorn.
Like, I think you have to have an Agonizer, right? Otherwise, you're just inviting them to kill you.
Sure.
I guess.
And like, I'm not entirely sold on the Gladiator because like the way his feet operates, like it may be enough to just cloud wall up and have them come into you, and then you
And
can still
really,
do your
you
job.
don't need to be able to charge over walls.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
So if I'm correct, if you have a bunch of reptile hounds and a guy walks into melee with a reptile hound, the second reptile hound countercharges, giving the defensive strike flank, right?
Oh my god. Busted it.
All in on
wide
Scorn 2017.
what's really funny is I have like 3 reptile hounds at home, so
Only
like I may
3?
actually
What did
paint
you
them
do
now.
with
You
fourth
have
one.
only one fieldable
They
choice
come in
of
packs
reptile
of
hounds.
2.
Yeah, how did you get 3?
Long story, but I ended up with like a trade. I ended up like
He thought it was a war dog, and it went bad
Oh,
from
I was
there.
gonna guess some kind of tragic filching accident or something.
I don't know. It had to be something.
Okay, so wait.
Maybe
what's,
just massive reptile hounds would be sweet.
what's the idea with the Zaadesh list? Just move battle group forward, Carax go and contest, and then Scorn Beast fight things.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Yeah, I think you have
Zaadesh
too
pretty
many
much gets to
beasts.
play like almost immune to guns because of his sack pawn. So like you could afford to run Zaadesh like fairly low on fury.
So something I think about I think the reason you're approaching the list wrong, in my opinion, is because everything he seems to do is an area effect. So the more models you can put on the table, the more buff you get. So what you're doing is you're taking lots of quality things, like you've got Tiberian,
Imagine
You've got
40 counter
the
charging
soldier,
dogs or whatever they're called.
Scarabs?
reptile hounds.
Yeah, the little reptiles. Just bring 40 of them and go.
Right, so
have fun moving.
I think because you've only got the
Have fun
one unit,
deadcocking
and
yourself.
the
When
characters
your
are
opponent swap. All
decently
right, go ahead,
survivable
counter
for a
charge.
really, really cheap unit, but they're going to get shot.
Yeah, Carax
they
are in
can't
there
shoot-
just to make sure that
yeah, they're
I
not gonna
don't
shoot
die
your
to something
beast.
that out threats me.
Exactly. So the whole list is basically, is his feet and countercharge good enough to win a game?
And the answer is no.
Probably not.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
It's a good point.
I mean, Karchev relies on that, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, no, Karchev relies on 7-point heavies.
That's the really telling
Yeah.
thing, though, is and sometimes it works.
It's not sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't know. I've got some Sorsha privilege, so like.
Yeah, so I think Zaadesh is going to capitalize on trying to find the efficient spaces within the point levels. Yeah. Like,
Right.
Gladiators are just amazing. So no one's ever going to tell you that Gladiator's a waste of 14 points because they're an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah, but that's like the only cheap heavy. I mean, like,
Sure.
conceptually, not played him yet. I love the soldier with him, but it is
I love
18
soldiers.
points. It's
Soldiers are-
premium.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it hits harder than any other Scorn War Beast, and the pull effect on a countercharge is absolutely amazing.
Why is it so good?
Oh,
Just so you can pull it away from what they charged?
No, yeah, exactly.
Ideally, it's hard to set up, I think, but yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the important thing is you need some kind of infantry that's mixed with your battle group, so they can't put token blockers on your soldiers. That's the really important thing.
It's a
'Cause
fine line, though, because throwing a bunch of dudes out just blocks your own lanes. But yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's on your own turn. So if it's like Annihilators or somebody who's going to be moving aggressively forward anyways and provides large areas of free strike denial, like, sure, great. And actually, Annihilators are another option that strike me as really compelling, just because it's a big unit where everybody can have defensive strike on the feet, and they'll get business done anyways. Like, you take Annihilators, you don't actually need any kind of support for them. They're just in there, they'll get Mat and Strength. The turn they get Strength, or like Strength and Mat, they'll kill a Warpwolf dead.
Yeah. What about, like, the Kaltari guys with Blade Shield? Because then they're hard to shoot and melee.
Well, I really don't like them because they don't do anything. I mean, they're hard to
Well,
kill,
you
but
just
that's
described Scorn Infantry, so...
Wait, it's the defensive synergies thing. Like, you can have all the defensive synergies you want. If your offense is Mat 6, POW 10, you're inconsequential.
But
even if
that's
you
the
don't.
same argument we have with Karax.
I hate
They're
Karax,
more-
too.
The one I found him. I found the one Scorn player that hates Karax with me.
Yes!
I'm not a Scorn player, but I also
Okay, if you
think
hate
Karax is
every-
garbage.
What do you like in Scorn?
In terms of infantry,
Well,
Not
now,
much.
nothing.
Name a model.
Not much.
Annihilate-
Venerators are their good units.
Yeah,
Annihilators
Venerators
are semi-good.
And then like the war beast, some of the war
Like, an
beasts. are okay.
agonizer is the same cost as a heavy.
I mean, if we're going to get into
And
stuff like
Jade, I mean,
artillery,
one heavy.
their artillery piece is kind of
Take
silly
a
good.
shitty ass agonizer for
The
7
The
points.
catapult,
He's not a
it's like
shitty
POW
model.
18 or POW 16 with fucking burst
He's
fire.
not.
It's a shredder with a better animus.
They give the
No,
catapult-
I think it's bad. It's not even a better
You what?
animus.
They give it first fire?
So
You're
it's
telling
POW
me that
18 against
repul-
heavies.
Hold on. Stop.
Tenacity is a better animus than repulse.
First of all, the shredder doesn't have tenacity.
Not anymore.
Now it's got a sweet roll it already had.
yeah.
That
Yes.
cost fury.
So you're telling me that repulse is a
Hey,
worthless,
some
worthless
people don't
animus?
like
It's not worth
options.
paying that point. 7
Wait,
points for
hold
it.
on. I was listening to this guy. You said repulse is bad?
On an agonizer, yes.
I actually think it's probably. I mean, like,
Get
if
him,
you're going to
Scott.
give the agonizer an animus, like the ability to push something away if by some miracle of God it doesn't auto die
But
seems
it
okay.
can't, like,
so
do anything and then repulse.
Well,
yeah,
it-
because
it's
they're like
only Fury
unaffordably
2.
expensive to take too.
well, it
And
can't
it's
do
Fury
anything.
2.
14 points is a
Animus
lot of
costs all
points.
So,
its
I
fury.
understand.
It-
It's still amazing.
It can't do anything.
What if you
Morgul
just-
or Makeda or any number of Scorn casters absolutely love it.
Actually, when you
Like-
actually break it down, so many of the turns in which you're going to actually need repulse, you don't need the aura because you're going for a scenario.
I
Fair
was going
enough.
to say, I played a Xerxis 2 list that obviously had an agonizer in it. Didn't do it very often, but it was often very funny to pop repulse off of Xerxis 2.
Yeah.
Like, because that will just flat out clear
Oh,
a
yeah.
zone.
My favorite one is Repulse on Rasheth, where he's like, "Fuck off! I want a breath of corruption you without hitting myself." 'Cause Rasheth will kill basically anything that gets on him, but he can only take so many POW 12s that he generates.
I think was it Zaadesh too?
Yeah.
Zaadesh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's definitely solid. I don't
he's-
know if he's like top tier in Scorn, but he might be.
Well, he's great in the context of his faction. Is he any good in the context of the game?
He's got some of the same problems that Scorn has.
Well,
They're vulnerable to
guys,
guns.
He's a Scorn caster by the numbers. He's weak to control. He's okay into guns. His War Beast loadout, if it's mostly soldiers, can change that. Like, he's...
If you play
If-
carapace models, they're really hard to shoot.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
I was talking about this at dinner. Like, if I was... Like, a week ago, I was considering, as a joke, posting what I thought, like, if they decided to make the most boring, typical Scorn caster in the universe, this is what Zaadesh 2 would do. And it was almost exactly what the
What he
actual
did.
release was. He's a Scorn caster by the numbers, totally typical of the faction, nothing different. If what Scorn does actually works, great. If it doesn't,
No, I
we
actually
have
feel like
breaking
burning
news,
ash
guys.
adds a layer to that.
We have Donald Shaver here, and he just told me that he played a game against Zaadesh, and he is, in fact, the greatest caster in the game.
Oh my god!
I mean,
No, I
he's
heard
going
it.
to try and backpedal
He
now
totally
this
said
on.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all heard it.
We heard it. We got witnesses.
Wait, Scott, you heard that, right? That's
Yeah, I
4
completely
people
heard that.
have audio, recording, and personal testimony.
Yeah, I 100% agreement. Right?
No, I have to change my opinion now. Zaadesh 2 is clearly one of the best warcasters ever made.
The entire army is strong. Defensive strike on everything in your army is strong.
So what warrior model bad touched you?
Zaadesh himself.
Oh, that's the worst kind of bad touch.
Matt
I
Seven
mean,
has
you had it in
12
the bag
defensive
and
That
strikes.
sword is long.
He also has flames.
It goes deep.
Power 14 is better.
Well, sure, but Matt 7, Matt 7, POW
Matt
12,
7
defensive
Pow 12
striking
is
Karax.
aggressively bad.
That's pretty solid. Like,
Hey.
it's not bad. Like, I mean, obviously, you're not
The
going
POW
to kill a
12
heavy
is-
or knock an aspect out.
Oh, shit. No, that doesn't work. Thank God. I was just thinking, what if you got charged by a Meatoff Hemi with Enliven on it, and you defensive strike it, and then he enlivens away from you and you countercharge him? But I was thinking countercharge has to trigger because he has to move with Enliven. It's not a May. It's just on first damage you make it.
Yeah, he just moves to where he's still engaged with
You're
you.
right.
It's
so
also
it's
not
like,
immune to
that's why I was like,
strikes.
oh my God, you can get it twice, like automatically.
Well, you just have all reach war beasts.
It's still awesome.
The enlivened pull-free strike. I want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
Well, I mean, that just happens. Like, unless it's Raza, then you just get sad. And Raza's like, goodbye!
So let's talk about good casters.
Good casters.
Trolls.
A horrible iron strike.
No.
No, the Anvil. Horgle the Anvil.
Horgle the Anvil.
Horgle Iron Strike was the one. We're on 2.
Did they take away his last name for this one?
They
what?
did. He is the Anvil.
The
Horgle the
Anvil.
Anvil.
Is that his stage name?
Yeah.
That's his porn name.
Yeah, could be.
It's posted on Facebook. So I'm just looking at Facebook photos to have the card. It's
Oh,
not
So if you
for it.
thought
Yeah.
Fiora 2
I've
needed
got
a
the-
good feat, and if that was the only problem, she's way better, then you got it.
I still don't know if his feat's that great.
Troll's got an armor buff.
Does the model actually come with the fire on the swords?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's the
model
model.
is the model.
So
is
you're buying
sweet.
it.
Well, I own it. Yeah, it's upstairs. But
Wait, so
Flamey hammer, flamey
are
sword.
you going to take him with 2 units of fire eaters? Because I feel like
Yes.
you're going to take him with 2 units of fire eaters.
Yes,
'Cause you
and
don't even need
probably
the
two pyre
troll.
trolls and a bomber to put fire
Wait, why
starter
the
on.
pyre troll? Fuck the pyre troll. You just have the bomber toss some bombs.
Oh, you could do that. Yeah, sure. Yes,
I mean, you got
Firebomb.
solid ground. They're not even going to be hurt by it.
that's true. Actually,
Do they have a war beast that hits, like, so feebly that he can just punch them?
That's the pyre troll.
The night troll. It's like
no,
Power
the swamp troll.
Swamp troll?
Swamp troll.
Kelly caresses them on fire.
Is it Pow Zero? But he might crit consume the pig buddy.
He might. I forgot he had crit consume. How did you know the swamp troll's rules?
Because I own a swamp troll.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you
And
should know
I
the
crit
rules off the top of
consume
your
many
head.
models.
You would.
You could encapsulate that in I made poor life decisions. It was college. I
That's
was
the
drunk.
one.
Okay, so for real, he has multiple ways to set people on fire.
He has. If your bomber activates first, his war beasts have free charges, which is actually quite
Which is not
notable.
bad.
Yeah.
He is an armor 23 Mountain King, which is not a bad thing.
Do you think you're going to be taking a gargantuan with him?
I'm
What is
23
armor
is pretty
23?
sweet.
Yeah,
You
also,
know why
also
Wolf
why
Asks are
Mountain King
good?
over Glacier King?
I think the Mountain King's in general better.
I mean, but like for him, the Glacier King really stood out for me because you've got it's not the big AOE applicator that is the spray, but you've got the longer ranged gun, and you've got the combination of like area denial coming off the Glacier King's Animus. That's sort of just my thinking.
I think
Mountain
you're.
King's just better in melee though, and having assault, you're only going to
Well,
charge for
what's the
free.
difference? The difference is the kill shot and the assault, and then that's it. Okay.
But that's 2 full sprays.
I
You're
think
not
yeah,
getting out of
I
the
think
other.
you're still
yeah.
just going to take
Yeah.
a bomber to put Firestarter on.
And sprays are generally more accurate, so with them having a low rad isn't as bad.
Okay. All right. I buy
I
it.
do wish
Also, you don't need line of sight to the shit you're spraying at.
That's
All
fair.
of a sudden, their caster takes a boosted POW 16 and is on fire. It's usually bad. And then you
Yes.
kill shot and hit him again.
So you've got a big giant troll
Doesn't
that
it have deafen
shouts
too,
at
so they lose
somebody
defense?
so hard that they're on fire.
Yes. Yes, see, the Mountain King does have
Yeah,
deafen.
so if you tag them with the assault shot, you deafen them. So they're easier to hit for the fully boosted attack.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I do
All
wish
right,
his...
you've convinced me.
Actually, yeah, you don't even have to boost damage. You just keep the fire starter spell on him.
Yeah.
And so when he assaults and hits them, you only got a boost to hit, and you get 2 fully boosted attack rolls.
It's not bad. I do wish his feet was additional, not boosted.
Well, no, yeah, hence the Fire Eaters. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
those insane 4-dice sprays or whatever.
Well, just anything. Just like,
Are Fire Eaters additional die, or are they boosted?
they're
just
boosted.
they're
Yeah,
boosted, yeah.
That
Well,
would
just
probably
getting,
not
like,
be okay.
turning.
Mark II, I loved watching people lose their minds over like, oh my god, Croak Raiders and Ravagors and Fire Eaters. And like, they're already boosting, I guess. Whatever. I mean, Fire Eaters are still just a great choice because they set things on fire and they're fairly caster independent, which is valuable.
That's actually not a bad idea with them as Fire Eaters.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry, Croak Raiders.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, don't
Does
do
it
it.
boost the,
Don't do it.
the continuous?
No, it's an easy way to get things on fire.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's not, but it seems interesting.
Because the Fire Starter's only Battlegroup model, right?
What?
Fire Starter only affects Battlegroup models. His upkeep that gets fired.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fiora spell.
Wait, so you take a unit of raiders, you throw a bunch of 3-inch oil gourds, you line up like this amazing spray from Mountain King, set the world on fire, and then, oh yeah, it's all pointless because the Mountain King kills anything, everything, right?
No, the problem is they have to direct hit with the darts to set things on fire.
Yeah, but the oil... Yeah,
No,
but the
no.
oil gourds...
The gourds don't help because it's already boosted. It's because
Oh,
he's saying take them
I'm sorry,
to
you're right.
light stuff
You're
on
right.
fire.
Yeah.
I'm putting the cart
No, that's
before the
actually a
horse.
bad idea because it just doubles the feed effect.
Well, also,
no,
Solid Ground is racist, so.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, that's true. Only the
I mean,
blue skins, not the green
So
skins.
there's another possible build archetype is you go in on like just troll warrior models, like tough no knockdown. I've got a battle group that hits slightly above par, and then a bunch of troll warriors that survive longer than they should,
You've got
and get a turn of
Well, like
overperforming.
Axers that charge
You have
for
your
free is pretty
14
interesting.
your 14-20 steady champs are pretty annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Or-
Yeah,
or
we were talking
warriors.
about that earlier.
Right,
yeah.
That's a really
Still.
scary
When
prospect
they're
just
not
for a
base
lot of
contact,
people.
they're steady.
Yeah, or your Fen Blades that get boosted damage after they're already stuck in, or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, see,
Great.
but that's why I wish his feet was additional, so you could make those Fen Blades just weapon master charges.
sure.
Yeah, but
Well,
then
I mean,
you would
the
have
Fen Blades-
you would have too high of spikes on some of the high end beasts though, because if you're coming in at strength 23 and you were doing 4 dice, that wouldn't be particularly balanced into a lot of things.
I mean, at that point, you might just start looking at the random models and trolls that have multiple attacks, like the scouts.
Yeah,
Just get like your assault and 2 initials in there.
just
you know?
maximize value. But
Just roll 3 dice 3 times.
it applies to your guns too, right? As long
Yes.
as the enemy's in
It
range.
says
So yeah.
attack.
So, like Bushwhackers maybe
Yeah.
might be an option.
It
What's it-
applies to spells, as far as I'm aware.
or even
the war-
Sluggers.
The War Wagon could be hilarious.
Sluggers.
Oh shit!
Wow, there's a
I mean,
word I
like,
haven't
I'm
heard in a
Mr.
while.
Double Gun Carriage, so I might be biased.
Oh my
but,
god, that thing would light something up. Though.
You're one of
Yeah.
those people.
Oh, I am one of those people. I love that fucker.
It's the probably the first battle engine I actually saw on the table.
So Fen Blades, just returning to them, and they're not charging, but they're getting boosted things. Fen Blades are actually one of the biggest causes of play errors I've seen in troll players, which is the maturity mismatch between when the Fen Blades arrive and when the rest of the army arrives. Because the Fen Blades typically arrive a full round even before the rest of the army is available to support them. So they'll just die like assholes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time you just see troll players moving them forward at max speed and like they're fucking gone. It doesn't matter.
I
They're
thought that was a big
contributing
mistake that Crix players and Mark II
Yeah.
used to make with Statistics Raiders.
That was
Exactly,
definitely the
100.
noob statistics.
That's
Yeah.
how you would spot a Crix player
Yeah.
that was going to be an easy match is when they just ran their Statixis.
You're like, oh, sweet, so I killed that 10-point unit, now you go.
Yeah. Wait, so Statixis Raiders took an entire unit, or they were like Exemplar Errant. They took an entire army's worth of attacks for one round to remove. But if your opponent gives you an entire army's worth of attacks and offers no reprisal immediately, great.
You gifted them 10 points. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gifted them 20% of your army, but that 20% of your army takes 100% of their army to fight for one round. So, yeah, I mean,
Which
Fen
is why
Blades,
you just take 2 units of Statistics Raiders.
Now you do.
but yeah,
You always did.
Fen Blades.
Yeah.
Fen Blades are way easier to kill than Statixis Raiders, but like a lot of troll players fall into the same trap. And like making effective use of Fen Blades means holding them back or having a much faster army than most troll players are used to.
Again, take the 2 units of Fen.
Oh, also, fucking Solid Ground and the War Wagon. You can fire those shots in there. You're not going to knock down your own warriors. You're
Right.
not going to blast damage them. Fuck it. Fire away.
I play RS2. Solid Ground is okay.
Yeah.
It's probably like the 3rd best spell in this card.
No, yeah, my gun carriage into Eris 2, I'm looking at like, fuck me.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill like 3 rifle corps a turn. God damn it.
I played against Nigel, who had double gun carriage Behemoth in his Vlad 1 list. I have my Rusk. He's just like, this is literally like an unplayable game for me. I was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty funny.
So, any other insights about Horgle?
He's cool. He's one of the
fucking
he's got the
sweet
best
model. Yeah.
upper 50th percentile.
Yeah, I think he's actually a solid addition to Trolls. I think people will find
I think he's
good uses for him.
Are we going to do the L2 Wargame patented 1, 2, 3, 4 thing?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Are we putting Horgle at 2 and then trying to sort everyone around
I
it?
think we put Zaadesh at 2, and I think Horgle comes in at 3. I think, and it's not even necessarily because I think Horgle is worse than Zaadesh. I just think Zaadesh means more to his faction.
Yeah.
Because Horgle doesn't mean shit to Trolls. They got 18 fucking casters to go play. But
yeah. Well,
but he's definitely playable.
Yeah. Well, Zaadesh is better than a lot of his peers. Horgle is kind of... Trolls
good.
doesn't have bad casters. Horgle, like, slots...
Gristle one might
can't,
disagree.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Horgle...
Gristle one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You're going to get an argument when you get back.
He slots solidly into the faction and makes sense. Isn't an outlier either direction. So, yeah, I'd buy putting him at a 3 in the context of his faction.
So I have to back up for just a second. What makes Gristle 1 bad?
See, this is where
because like I loved Gristle 1 and Mark 2. It's my favorite caster in Mark 2.
She's a lot different.
So as far as she fell, like I feel like she's definitely in the bottom 50 percentile of Trolls.
Sure.
So I'm just looking for someone else who feels the same way I do to make sure that like I'm not missing something that actually makes her really good.
Wait, is bottom 50 percentile in Trolls bad?
No, it's not.
No, the problem is the faction carries themselves, and some factions don't. But Trolls was designed around have slightly better than average casters, but then you have to power through the good stuff and then they got a good caster, and then they all went to shit.
Boundless Charge is cool.
Yeah.
Is it inhospitable ground? No, but it's cool.
Yeah, she has some interesting tools that Trolls doesn't have anywhere else currently.
Sure, I'm
not a huge, but Ryan spent an hour telling me how much he loves Gristle 1 after thinking she was complete garbage.
Ryan
from St. Joe.
Oh, well.
So he built an unusual list, and he has been having a lot of luck with it, and he thinks it's actually pretty strong.
Well, maybe he's right.
So I just think people are just, again, piling on shit where they don't actually have experience, which is a big problem because most people are like, scored unplayable garbage, and they race about for 3 hours of lives. Like, well, I haven't played against him yet, but I just feel this way. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. You're literally ruining the community, you idiot.
Well, I think it's prejudicing as anything that looks like an elephant is the root cause of that.
I actually think Scorn's models are really cool.
Yeah,
I agree, actually. I really like Scorn.
We're sharing a wavelength right here.
You don't want to share this wavelength.
Okay, so moving on to the
Dash.
second best, probably.
Wait.
So Una, we're doing Tuna next.
Tuna next?
Yeah.
Second best.
Tuna?
Her nickname is Tuna. We coined it. It's over.
The obvious pun.
Yeah.
No, it's if we're gonna do it's Fyanna is the second best.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. We're gonna go with Una.
All right, Tuna.
We started with Una, so
It's
we're
not
going
a tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah, actually, having played into Una a number of times today, I was very impressed, actually, with how strong she is.
She seems real strong.
Her feet... So when I first... I mean, we were obviously proxying a lot of Griffins, let's be clear about that, but... Because nobody had that many Griffins. But I didn't articulate what the Griffins were going to do to my army until it started happening. Because I just sort of glanced, I'm like, it's a Griffin, whatever. And I remember killing them trivially in Mark II and being like, why are people bringing Griffins? And then suddenly, I'm like, wait, they're defense 15, stealth, I can't attack them, and they're double control radius and killing my caster right now. This is really awkward all of a sudden.
They can walk 11 inches? Or 9 inches and throw your caster.
Are they speed 7?
They're speed 7.
Base 7.
Speed 7.
11 with Mirage.
Or 11 with Mirage. So one Griffin that is the closest to your caster can walk 11 and two-handed through your caster away from your army.
Because they
And
have,
you're like, I just lost.
because they have 2 open fists.
Yeah, and you run
For
your
some fucking reason.
and you run your Griffin so you get flank on your two-handed throw attack roll.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That may have actually happened to
Really?
me today. Oh, it did happen to me today, by the way.
Okay, so the Griffin, I think the Griffin's getting nerfed. But
What,
It
the
has-
scars fell?
yeah, it has
Well, this-
3 initials, one of which is a base power 12. It's Fury 3, so it has potential 6 attacks a turn pretty easily in that faction because they have 3 sources of Hunter's Mark outside of Dogpile. Moving on, it has base stealth and base defense 15.
Also,
it is
Old Hunter can ignore forest.
Yeah, it ignores forest flying sight.
So the Scarsfell,
which is powerful because most things don't anymore.
Yeah, the Scarsfell is like the Scarsfell now is almost exactly like the Wold Watcher was in the last edition. Yeah. It's a support light that has almost no offense, that they gave a shitload of special abilities that it has no right having.
Right.
And then they gave a caster who jacks up its offense. So all of a sudden you have a very cheap model with a lot of hit points and a lot of special abilities. Also hits like a truck.
And its animus is really good.
Yeah. It gives
elusive,
dodge,
and it only gives a dodge.
That's fucking fantastic in Legion.
It's super frustrating to try and kill them.
You throw, if you cut a couple Griffins out and throw Wrong Eye and Snapjaw on that list, and people will literally pull their hair out.
How much is the Griffin?
We gotta not tell Ryan about that because he's gonna make our life hell.
He just didn't have them in the bag.
Oh, god damn it.
How much is the Scarfell's cost?
8 points.
8 points.
It's the Wold Watcher thing. They're insanely cheap for a massive kit of abilities.
Yes.
And they made a caster that supports them offensively.
Right.
Like exclusively.
So,
It's literally the same thing as Bradigus, and their price spike, they're being totally sold out. It's the exact same phenomenon.
That's my least favorite thing about Tuna, is that she is designed to spam. And spam is everyone's least favorite thing in this game. We're all, everyone in Mark III was like, we don't want spam. We're fucking tired of it.
I love Virus 2.
Oh, we got the other Griffin guy at the table. Yeah.
I like Griffin spam.
The other Griffin spam.
God damn it.
Also tastes like
all right,
chicken.
so most people, not those people, but most people want spam to kind of...
Can we call them the Mad Dog set?
What your problem is? I didn't even bring them.
Yeah,
I brought them, but someone
he brought
them.
Who borrowed them?
Chris from Australia.
Davies?
What I find funny now is that every time I see
voice.
somebody buying a Mad Dog, they have to immediately qualify they're not buying the spam list. They're like, no, I wanted the model. And you're like, sure,
whatever,
did.
buddy.
They have to publicly apologize. It's like being caught coming out of the burlesque theater.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. This is just one Mad Dog. Oh, that's how it starts, buddy. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
No, I definitely wanted that 15. Not close. Definitely wanted 15.
But anyway, that's why...
I own 0. Sorsha privilege. It's nice.
Sorsha would be even better with 10 Mad Dogs.
She probably would
the
be.
mics don't
That's a
pick
terrible thing.
The mics don't pick up furious head shakes, but...
Yeah. What? Are you fucking blind?
I feel like we're getting distracted.
Microphones. What are you guys doing? We're video chatting with somebody.
Yes, actually, we are right now talking
We are
about...
phone sex operators.
Yeah, we're picking up Dan's phone call. Dan's picking up our podcast on his phone call.
Yeah. This is the most regretful phone sex line ever.
Oh, baby, tell me about how Zaadesh is the best caster in the faction.
Oh, tell me about his sword. Oh, is it straight and long?
Straight and long. Is it really hard? How hard is it?
How 12? Oh, that's kind of not great.
Okay, good. You good?
I mean, a real man would have a POW 14 sword.
That's why I held this.
Are we having trouble opening the beer, or...
Yeah, no one had a bottle opener, apparently.
I have one in the room.
Nice. All right. Is there anything we haven't talked about, Una? She gets
Tuna.
sprint.
She's sprint and flank, and then feet is...
Sprint is only in command, which is 8.
It's only command.
It's
really?
only
Okay.
command, which a lot of people miss.
So they literally sprint back to her base.
Right, it's basically a pure defense
So
ability.
they basically gave her 2 field marshals.
Yes.
They did, yes. They did.
Well, she wasn't good enough with only one.
Well, this is exactly the Bradigus thing is...
We haven't
enjoy
even
your
talked about her spell list yet. You guys realize she has Hand of Fate, right? You know what that spell does?
And Windwall.
Makes the Twigmen kill everything.
Yeah. Fucking right, it does.
The thing that we've already had people talking about is you start with Una, you put up Windwall. You can put both sentry stones in front of her, have them make forests, but she'll be out of the forest, but they'll be in Windwall.
Oh, fuck.
So she's behind 2 forests in Windwall, and the stones have stealth and can't be targeted by non-magic.
Oh, yeah, by the way, that also happened to me today.
Oh, and she can cycle Hand of Fate between them.
Yep.
God damn it.
Fair and balanced.
Is she a 7?
Yes.
She's a 7. She's a 7.
So that is for
the
those
only seven.
following at
Genuinely
home, a
mad about that one.
28-inch control
Isn't it
radius
just
for the
automatically
Griffins.
missed by non-magical?
Yeah, you can be
automatically
targeted.
missed.
Your stealth models in a forest are automatically missed, and they're covering for your caster who can't be targeted by range.
Yeah, and your caster only has to be within 28 inches of your Griffin.
Yeah, it does.
You're fine.
I mean, they don't get sprint then.
Oh yeah, it's
She
terrible
doesn't
that
have
they don't get
extended command
sprint.
range, so it's balanced.
Yeah. Hey, you know what also works really well if you guys are interested? Doing flank headbutts on other people's casters.
That would work pretty well.
You can also slam.
FYI,
After
game
you slam
2,
them,
I died to
you
that
got
one.
flights. You just go over the top of your own guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then on the feet, like all those models you set up to do free strikes, they don't matter.
That's honestly the part that annoys me the
But
most.
the Saren 1 factor, where
This-
offensively your formation doesn't matter.
Yeah, Saren was too. Saren's feet was too good for Saren
I
in Mark
wouldn't-
2,
I
Mark 3.
wouldn't say she was too good, but that feat effect, like every time I ran into it, even with a principally ranged army, I was like, this shouldn't exist.
Right, just the ignoring free strikes part, especially with flying models.
Well, because
I killed a lot of casters by
Because
like
they're like,
feeding
I'm
and
just-
then charging over your army and get to your caster.
Yeah, wait,
Oh, yeah.
so there's if you popped it defensively, Saren's feet didn't matter much, and I think this is going to be the same thing with Una. You pile your Griffins in, you don't even sprint, you just hang out in melee, and you can't counter kill me at all.
Fast enough, anyway.
So like you're having, as the opponent of that, you're having to play your turns as though you can't attack your opponent's models on your next turn, and they get perfect liberty to set up on the turn after that. So like, if your opponent's positioning is down, you effectively can't attack them or stop their plans for 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
You have 3 sequential turns, and you don't know when it starts when you can't attack your opponent's models. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That said, it's only light war beasts, but they're only light weapon master war beasts.
Well, to be fair, the Griffins don't have reach, so it's actually pretty hard for them to
Yeah.
trigger flank on more than 1 or 2 models at a time.
Yeah.
Usually, obviously, it's going to be the heavies, which you need to kill.
But it's
But-
almost impossible to screen.
Yeah.
They'll have flight and immunity free strikes.
I think
Yeah.
we're also overlooking the fact that you don't just have to take the Scar spell. What if you take the Rotter Horde, the Scream one, and you can actually put it in the middle of a unit and it doesn't die?
Oh, yeah. Like, hey.
And then
I'm
you're
gonna-
like,
I'm gonna
I explode and your unit's gone. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout at these guys, and then next turn I'm gonna shout at these guys again.
Yeah.
I was thinking the Razorwing one, because if you just run/sprint your Griffins wherever in your opponent's army, then just trample your Razorwing in, it'll get its pick of the litter. Like wherever it wants to go, it'll have it. The
Mirage
next
is
turn.
also pretty interesting at lining up trampolines.
It's true.
Also, flank tramples are funny.
Yeah, and the +2 speed from her feet's also really good for lining up anything like that.
Also,
for,
fuck
for
that.
tramples, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when we kept
Speed
reading
9.
the feet, like there was more stuff to it, and I'm like, this should have ended already. Like, this is already too good.
I
why
like
does
how,
it keep
like,
going.
It's like the last line where it tells you that the so offensive part. They're like trying to sneak it in where you don't notice it. You're like, oh yeah, Griffins get +2 speed. That's not bad. So that's her feet, right? What's this last line? Oh fuck!
Also
Shit.
speed.
Yeah.
So Griffin is...
At least she can be targeted. That's the one thing I approve of.
That
That's
is
not
the-
like Saren-esque. Like,
Yeah.
okay, at least I can kill you if you're stupid.
Yeah. And if she's trying to use her sprints at all, she'll probably be too far forward. So
Have we talked about the fact that her birds now have Thunderstrike on them?
Yeah, she has Gun Mage.
or yeah,
Oh, it's-
her.
It's not even birds. She just shoots magic missiles at the darkness.
Right,
Yeah.
like she now just has, like, guns that knock things down just for the heck of it.
Yeah, Thunderbolt is
'Cause, you know, that
pretty
was
good
also
ability.
something she needed.
Thunderbolt's a
So-
good ability.
It's a great ability.
The Scarspell Griffin, speed 7, charges 10.5 normally. Apparition puts it to 12.5. Hunter's Bark is 14.5, and then her feet is 16.5 inches.
What's point?
I'm just confirming there's not any more. Is that it?
That's a long way.
It is.
That's a long
And
way.
just so you know, if she started 12 inches behind it, she didn't have to move. 12 inches behind it, charges, yeah, it's good.
It's,
Can
it's
you
a-
imagine
yeah.
when you have to ask your opponent to check it, and he's like, yeah, 28, and you're like, that's seriously in?
Yeah, I actually I keep asking that too. I'm like, it's on the other side of the table. He's like, that's still 28.
no, it's still
Is there any reason for her to literally ever be part of the game unless it's a kill box?
Kill box.
No, there's none.
trying
That's the
to
only reason.
bad players will try to use their sprint.
Or her gun.
Yeah.
And then you'll
So
kill them.
you'll win 10% of your games versus this caster.
Yes, exactly.
We call those sprint games. Or like in Mark II, anytime you failed to randomly kill a tough model with a stalker, you're like, guess I just lost the game because I can't fucking hit anything. They can't make 8 tough checks. Like,
That was the best.
I remember you lost the game versus Brent when Angel missed like 3 times, right? At KC Masters Finals. I don't know if you're playing Brent, actually. You're playing somebody. But you charged in Angel with Veil 2 with Refuge on it, and you missed the model 3 times. You're like, well, I guess I lose. And Angel just sat there in front of his whole army, and you're like, this is literally the worst game I've ever played.
That happened a couple times, yeah.
He's like, charge in, boost hit, trip ones. You're like, all right, buy boost, miss. Well, that was fun.
That's great.
That's my Annihilators, but only if there's one contesting.
Yeah.
That guy can only be hit 1/10 of the time and passes all the tough checks.
And then he stands up, there's 9 people engaging him. You're like, sweet. Last stand.
All right. So are we outraged enough at Una?
I think so. So I think we have to put her at number 1 right now. I mean, I think she's
Number
better
1?
than both those 2.
Yeah, for
oh,
sure.
yeah, definitely. She's definitely, out of those 4, she's really the best drop.
She is
Well,
the
this makes Fyanna kind of underwhelming then, because
Yeah.
we
Well,
already
I mean,
know.
Is she
Disagree.
technically the best? Because what else are you going to take with her besides birds?
Well, in the context of
It's
her,
just, it is kind
What
of
else
boring.
do you need to take with her?
There's only
Megalith
one
maybe
thing
if you
bad
need
about
someone-
Una,
I don't think you
and
do.
that's hard to find the Griffins right now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Griffins
That is really the only
Griffins are
bad
kind
thing about her.
like Tanith already came out, so like she kind of wiped Storage clean of Griffins, and now Una's here, and you're like, fuck, I need to find like double the number of Griffins.
well, that was the only bad thing about Bradigus for a while is 7 $12 war beasts cost you $800.
I don't know. Like,
That's
I don't think she'd
capitalism, sir.
necessarily be like boring to play.
But
Like, because I mean, like, it sounds pretty fun to like line up a bunch of thunder chickens and
The-
send them 28
the-
inches downrange.
The
Like, that
list
sounds
is boring
hilarious.
on the table. It's not boring
Well,
to
so's-
play, probably, but the
so's
list itself
Bradigus.
is just boring.
Yeah, it's
So
monodimensional.
It's mindless. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing interesting
So-
about that list.
So is World War, but people love the shit out of that. Like,
That was
Because
just
it won.
actually-
Because it won
It's-
I've
games.
never
Well, yeah,
heard
yeah, it's
anyone say
fun
they
to
love
win.
playing that list.
Yeah, it's-
also, like,
Yes.
That's the thing
here's
about that.
here's the ultimate question in rating Una if we're going by context of faction. Is she better than Tanith?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is she better than Balder 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably.
Probably.
yeah. Is she better than Balder 1? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Is she better than Wormwood?
Yes.
No. So she's paired to him.
Yeah. Well, she's good into the things that he's.
And she's good into
Not-
Wormwood, so she fixes your Wormwood problem.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. And Tanith was taken just to fix Wormwood.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Well, also, she has all the tools to deal with the shooting heavy meta built in. And if you can't use those tools, you can't
Stealth
win a game.
lights that can kill heavies in pairs.
Right.
Yeah,
Stealth
great.
lights, really fast stealth lights, wind wall, forest wall. Like, she's essentially immune to most of the game right now until late in the game.
I don't know. Maybe we might be overestimating her. I'd like to see her on the table once or twice first. But against some things, I understand the stealth is super annoying versus most factions in general. But I'm just wondering if they can get enough work done. Because the way Tanith usually got it done was a combination of either Affliction or Primaling things. And the flank is super nice. Like, super, super nice. But you still have to play the attrition game.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's
yeah,
that
and you
time
have-
walk feat. The no melee. You just bury him in melee and go.
Feed is real
But
good.
if
deal
half
with
your
it.
stuff's frenzying because you're trying to kill heavies, then
Well, you do
the
have
turn of no melee is just getting you back in the game.
Well, you do also have to commit 2 pieces to any given one that you're
Right.
attacking, and the first one doesn't count.
Right.
So that's fair. The thing that's actually got to be in my bonnet right now is that she never has to engage. That she can be so far away from all her pieces, and it virtually never matters.
It's like the Sevi 1 game. Where
Yeah.
it's like hiding
It's like-
behind all the buildings.
Or it's like the Kara Sloan thing. Like, the long-ranged assassin caster that never exists is a design space that should never be filled. Like, that caster should never exist, but you made it for some reason. This caster is actually, like, anti-game. There's no game you play around this. There's just, did your shtick succeed or fail? And that's kind of a problem.
But she has that cool rifle.
So cool. Pointing it right at the sky.
Because Tanith has the damage buff that kicks in immediately, as where Una's damage buff is requiring another model. So if you can limit with pre-measuring, you can limit to how many models they can get to you. She does go pretty far on the feet turn. But, I wonder if you can just,
I think the real issue is that, defense 15 stealth lights that move that fast
no, sure.
are just
it's
really
easy
hard
for
to
them
pin
swing
down.
things. But I'm just thinking, like, if you're like, I have 5 heavies, you need to kill 5 heavies.
No. You need to kill the thing behind the 5 heavies, and they do that.
Would Una's feat work on the Storm Raptor?
Yes.
No.
It specifically says
It
light
says light war beast.
Well,
Oh,
no,
does it?
the speed still goes in, right?
It might.
I think the only thing is it.
Yeah, I
the
think
speed would work on the Storm
no
Raptor.
melee.
The melee attacks is only on lights.
right.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like it's worth 4.5 griffins, but
I'm not saying it's a
Oh,
good
no, it's
idea.
not.
But I think you still have to commit 3 griffins to kill a juggernaut.
Are the flights just the
No, but
Griffins
the thing
and
is, you
the,
don't
Storm
kill the
Raptor?
Juggernaut at all. Like, you go
Yeah.
past it without any penalty.
Sure, but what are you killing behind it?
The caster.
well, I mean,
Unless you're not.
they
Right,
charge
but I mean, you have a way better odds of killing a Warcaster
But
with 3
realistically,
Griffins.
you're not
than-
going to get the hunter's mark on the caster.
But you don't need to. You
And-
move up in feet, and then you move past, and then you kill the caster. Like,
Unless the
they
Griffins
move
don't kill their
stupidly
I
fast.
think
They're
2 to 3
fast.
Griffins will kill a caster. So
If
the first
they-
one
right.
doesn't do anything,
Right.
but the 2 and 3 that go in can kill most casters in the game
So,
with flank and the speed buff.
But
so all
every-
you have to do is jam.
but
and
so
protect
they
your
charge
Griffins.
14.5. I mean, you can pre-measure that.
Well, they're saying that they just rocket past with the feet and then fly to your caster next turn. The problem being that when you come and engage all their crap, they still have to leave that. Unless they got to the caster with the run. If they run and engage your caster, there's not much you can do about it. But if they run past your Juggernauts, you just turn around and engage them with Crit Freeze,
But
Bat 7
they
Juggernauts.
run 18 inches. In any kind of scenario game, most casters can't hide that far away from them. Like, it's hard to stay 18 inches away from the front lines.
That's true.
Well, if
with
you actually
almost
look at
any
the gap,
caster.
so say there's 12 inches from your stuff to mine because that's general charge range.
Yeah.
And then the 2 inches of my base and then 6 inches behind me, that's out of run range, isn't it? That's not
I'm just
engaging
like,
me at a
you
full
have
run.
some sort of jam unit that just ties up, like, what are the spear girls, whatever they're called. You know, they run and jam. The Griffins are right behind. And then at defense 15, having to deal with the jam, they're probably not dealing with the Griffins very well.
Sure.
So you just pop feet, surround them, and go, all right, you're stuck in the middle.
Well, and also keep in mind, if,
Unless
I
they have
assume
an
the average
agonizer
will
that I
be
was
6 Griffins,
knocking
because that
earlier.
seems to be the best
Then you repulse
loadout.
them and run
You're
away.
goddamn right, the agonizer.
There's a case right there.
So if you have 6 Griffins, you only need to get 3 past. And you can actually, because the control radius is so long, you can just have 3 Griffins Monty around the side. If you're
Sure.
talking about speed 4 heavies, readjusting to deal with that in and of itself gives you problems because you're moving assets away from where they need to be in the center.
Also, you can spread out way on the sides with 28 inches.
Sure.
I mean, you just create this huge bowl-shaped trap that's got.
I think
got Griffins on
I think
one
we all
side.
agree that she's very powerful.
I do.
None of us have seen, like, well, one of us has. But actually how she moves on the table, I think, is going to determine a lot on...
But she doesn't.
I
She
want to
doesn't have
point
No,
out,
not her
she
army, I mean,
absolutely
not her.
breaks open my circle drop. Like, I play Ret, and as Virus 2, I have no idea what I'm going to drop into a Una Wormwood pair.
Well, I mean,
Because I'm seriously concerned that she can just kill
If-
Virus 2 easily.
If you're playing like Griffin Spam, why wouldn't you just build a phalanx of Griffins around him?
Like, you could just
Well,
take,
you also
take that
encompass
space
your
that the...
caster.
I'm not saying
that
that
his
it's winnable,
Griffins
but
want to
that's-
with your
it's-
Griffins.
the
There's
really
more to her
important
list, I'm sure, too.
Yeah,
the really important thing is you outnumber her Griffins 2 to 1.
My Griffins cost the same number Shurs does.
Yeah,
yeah, actually,
but-
he doesn't.
Well, I mean, just on pure points, but I think on like initial army composition and sort of the long run anti-Wormwood army composition, you're going to see. My guess is that Virus's Griffins still outnumber
I
hers.
mean, maybe
by a
it
good
shakes
amount.
out, and I don't
I
have
think-
to be
I
worried.
think
just
that's
wanna
right.
point out right now, that's a concern for me.
I think in a lot of games as well, Una's just as afraid as your caster needs to be.
It's very possible.
Like Kara Sloan, like she should be freaking terrified, right?
Yeah, like I have no trouble with Kara Sloan. Like Virus 2 loves most Signar except Haley 2. That's controls a problem. Yeah. But like Circle, you drop Virus 2 in a circle, I don't care what you drop. Almost ever. It's Virus 2 can handle it. This actually concerns me because I have it all melee army.
Oh,
And
maybe
this is
that's...
basically Saren all over again.
Except
The
stuff that
feature
goes
is
past.
simply harsh.
Oh, Saren's
the
definitely
feature is
past too.
harsh.
Yeah.
But she's
Well,
a
only
Fury
Angel.
7, and if
Yeah.
she's doing that much with the beast, they're really pushing.
Yeah, but she doesn't care. I mean, if you kill the caster, it doesn't matter how much fury you have left on the table.
Sure. That's what. But you, if your only game is running to their caster, you can take that away with play. Like you literally just put your entire army
I know,
circled
but like
around
as
your
Virus
caster.
2, my area around my caster is not big enough to keep them out.
But every model is much harder to kill.
It is.
Like when it takes 2 or 3 Griffins to kill a Griffin, then
Yeah, that game
now
is
they
really
get one
confusing to
Griffin
talk
where that
about
one
now.
is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Griffin
there's
with a Y
they won't
versus
ever
Griffin
get
with an
to
I.
you. They'll get to a point where they stop killing Griffins.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they come in, they kill 3 Griffins, they put 3 of their birds where your Griffins were, and you're like, okay, there's still another line of Griffins.
Yeah, I pick up the 3 birds. How many birds do you have left? 2. I still have 3 Griffins left and an Imperatus. Like,
Sure.
You're out of stuff.
Yeah, but again, you're not going for a trade piece game.
Well, I mean, I think that's what we're saying is you can't peace trade.
Right. I mean, that's not the point of that list.
But
Well, I
Virus,
mean,
Virus 2
and
already has the trouble. It's hard to screen him effectively and get work out of your army.
Well,
I
you
can
mean,
bubble
you
up
just
and death
stack up
bubble.
But they have to
bases.
come to you.
Stack
Like, they have an
bases.
all-melee light swarm as well.
Yeah.
That is much shorter range. Like, they go farther, but the half-inch melee range, I think, is what might end up killing.
Fair
If
enough.
you just spread out, there's only so many modules they can get to.
I was
Fair.
actually genuinely amazed when I came back from the bathroom that we were still talking about Una.
She's gonna have a big impact
No,
on the
yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
probably the indicator that she's really strong.
Yeah, she's
Honestly,
very strong.
She, more than any other model in Circle, makes me want to play Circle. Like, I'd rather play her than Wormwood any day of the week.
Sure.
She looks fun. I like spam.
Yeah, if you like playing Virus,
Damn it.
you're
I
going to
love
like
Virus
Griffin
too.
spam.
So all I can
You
do-
like Griffin spam.
I love Griffin spam.
Yes.
So other than the hurricane, is there anything anti-flight?
I mean,
think Hurricane is still
you Victor.
Excuse
Stop
you,
fight,
No, he doesn't stop it. He just kills it.
you, bladed gale.
except he can't
off
shoot
of
those models
Aurora.
outside.
Yeah.
Shut those griffins the fuck down.
That's right.
That spray 8 off your caster is so
Griffins
good.
only outthreat his guns with their melee by 7 inches. So, I mean, it's probably real hard to fit. All 12 of the Griffins are going to charge the victor there.
No, but he's gonna shoot
Oh, wait,
them all.
it's not at all.
He's gonna shoot them all down with his boosted anti-aircraft guns.
Yeah, that
that
rifle
auto
boosted,
miss.
totally getting that done.
you just
Totally. Yeah, they're gonna get it. Well, you take a Spriggan.
Well, you shoot the big gun at them first with flare and pray to God you hit one of them. And that one is within 12 inches.
How many Reinholds can you get?
Yeah, 7.
Oh my god. Next level tech. This is
No, that's it. You take
2017
You
meta
take
right here.
Reinhold and 2 Spriggans. That's 5 Griffins you can
And
see.
a Victor.
That's one shot for each Griffin. Yeah,
You know
no,
what?
this is
Pair
the
up
tech.
with 2 Cyclones might kill like 4 Griffins a turn.
I think this discussion
actually
just gave me
true.
cancer.
I shot a Una 1 earlier today with Behemoth twice, and the first one overkilled the Griffin she
Oh, no,
transferred
yeah,
to,
I would
and did
next
one
that
to the Una, and then the second one killed Una through the second transfer. I was like, wow, these things are really made of paper. All you gotta do is hit Una. That's how this works.
Why'd you put your model there?
Right,
She's
so
gonna get
I think
shot.
in any kill box scenario in which you're playing against guns, she is actually very limited. Because if you do that, hey, look, I ran it, you're like, sweet, Una died. Like, well, you only have 7 transfers.
Only 7? Well,
I mean, if she full camps 7 and does nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, there's a limit. Like some people just kill her. Like Krios, like, I guess
like
he'd have trouble getting to her.
Well,
Wind wall
so-
plus Sentry Stones means you almost never have a shot on her.
No, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
I
I was
know.
about to say. Is we talked about this earlier, but we straight glossed over the Sentry Stone wind wall thing.
Yeah, that's
Sentry
the thing.
Stones are annoying, but
Well, also they're ARM 18 and can't be targeted by non-magical attacks
With
and or
stealth.
stealth.
in a forest.
Yeah. Well, they're def 7.
it meant they have prowl, but yes.
Well, I mean they're stealth. Like
Yeah, and she's on the other side of the forest, and none of this tech actually gets past that part
No,
of
it doesn't. You're right. He's just
Sweet
Yeah.
Eris 2 Rifle Corps.
you're catching on to podcasting
72
with Brandon.
Revelator.
Oh.
Like, oh, you said something. Yeah, that's not right.
I mean, I like the idea of using a Victor and a Spriggan just to tech against other Griffins. That is just amazing. I don't know what
Don't
else
listen
it would
to
be.
me either.
I don't know what else
If
would
you
ever
wanna
be
win
Baldur
games.
like.
2 play into her? Can he get his armor high enough?
Baldur 2.
Baldur 2.
Into Una?
Yeah, with Roots and Spiny.
Probably.
Because, I mean, they'll basically
Well,
die before he does, right?
But he's 22, yeah.
22, so they're with
Dice,
flank.
they're dice off 10, so yeah, they're
Good Dagger
with the
one.
beak.
yeah. On
Dagrosh 1? I don't know. He doesn't get to armor 22.
they
Yeah,
average.
he does.
Dagrosh personally?
You got Death Shroud. And you
Well,
got
not Dagger personally. No,
Yeah, he gets to what, 21, 22?
he gets the 20.
20.
20. I think
Uh,
I'm talking about him dying.
So Baldur.
Oh.
Because
him-
Baldur 2
him
can get to a
dying.
22
Baldur has-
and put a wall in front of him, makes flanking a son of a bitch.
Yeah, Baldur has
That's
17, 18 hit points. The Griffins are averaging 1 to
Actually,
2.
never mind. He's completely immune because you 2 old rats, Baldur, wall, get fucked. Baldur's going to win this game.
Meta solved.
Yeah. Baldur 2 above
So
Una 2.
So Una Number 4 so far.
Yeah, number 4. If Baldur 2 can literally not lose against you, it's game over.
Yeah, Baldur 2 can totally lose to Zaadesh, so...
How many griffins does it
We
take
need to
kill a
fucking
Runic
start playing
wolf
ship
rat?
captain crew over here.
Like 9? Maybe?
A lot, yeah.
And they only have half-inch melee. I don't think you get 9. I think you get 7.
You take your Gorax, which is your Griffin primaling machine.
And you primal both of them. But for real, how many does it take to kill the Arm 23? They're POW 12? So with flank...
12. Yeah, so they're dice minus 11 unless you primal them, then they're dice minus 9.
So figure each one will do about 10 to 12 if you primal it. Or roughly 10, probably like 14, 16.
They're 10 to 12 if you boost. If you primal them, they're a bit more. So yeah, it takes like 5 of them.
At least, yeah.
5 of them minimum if you're like cleaving to a couple of points over average, which is like calculating damage versus calculating to hit, you just follow the probability curve.
Sure. Calculating
damage, it's the easiest metric is add 1 to 2. Like add 2 per hit, because the value below is still 0. The value over counts.
If you're off a large number, yeah, it actually averages about.
It's
which is silly when you're lower on damage average, you do more damage.
Yeah.
Because your spikes.
Well, this is why Knights Exemplar do a shitload more damage than Stormblades, because they're 4 power lower, but they have that extra die. So
yeah.
All right, can we please talk about another caster?
Fyanna.
Fyanna,
she's the last one.
Fine, Fyanna Lash. Well, we didn't actually rate Una. Oh yeah, we put her at 1, right?
Yeah.
So we have Una, Zaadesh.
No, we put her at 4.
Wrong.
She can't be.
God damn it!
Because she can't be.
She can't be Baldur. She's 4. You know what Horgle can do? Beat Baldur 2.
Zaadesh, Baldur 2 got his fucking number.
That's great.
Defensive strike.
Oh my god, a Mauler that got there with rage already on him. It's going to do so much damage to him. It's dice off 3, so take 9. This is just bad. I regret everything that happened before these 8 attacks. All right, so moving on to Fyanna. Why don't you run us through what Fyanna? I have no idea. She's like real bad.
Dodge, and some more dodge.
Yeah, let me look her card up.
And she's def 15.
So I was actually playing her today with my Legion, and she has a really good spell list.
I like her. I think she's good.
Her personal contribution is really very limited. She is much more of a support caster than I expected her to be.
Me too. I really wish she had sprints. Really wish she had sprints.
I just wish she wasn't POW 12.
People said about Fyanna 1.
Yes.
She has sprint, doesn't she?
No, fuck no.
Everyone thought she should, but she didn't.
She has prowl and dodge,
she had
and
throw,
that's it.
remember?
Yeah. So her feat is very interesting because the +3 defense and dodge has some very interesting synergies with a lot of the Legion beasts.
And even a lot of Legion infantry. I mean, swordsmen with +3 def and dodge are a fucking son of a bitch to kill.
17.
Especially when you put Iron Flesh on them and you can't just behemoth blast them to death.
Well, they're also 17 15s.
With Iron Flesh, yeah.
Well, their armor is genuinely pretty good for blast resistance to begin with.
13 doesn't save them.
Well, it stops your POW 6s, so it stops Signar blast damage.
Sure.
It doesn't stop Khador blast damage.
Not at all.
But if you actually look at it, if they get the Blightbringer bonus, which won't always be there, but if they get the Blightbringer bonus and they get Iron Flesh, they go up to 17 17s on the feat turn.
Yeah.
No, that's
not
good.
Nothing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and you got your sweet def 11 dodge gargantuan.
You take
money in the bank.
Oh wait.
Well, so I was running 2 Angelius with her, and that is amazing.
I'm actually, I think Angelius are interesting. I want to try Nerifs with her because she gets their POW with the Black Frost Shard. She gets their POW up high enough where they can actually go in, kill a heavy, and sprint away. Admonition makes them so if you can still get to them after they sprint, admonition makes them even harder to deal with flight.
You want to know a dirty secret?
Sure.
I never built my Nerif.
That's unfortunate because Nerifs are undisputedly the best melee beast in Legion.
I think actually a POW 17
they got Mat
armor
7,
piercing
bro.
tail,
Mat
really
7.
wonderful.
What's that?
A POW 17 armor piercing
Natural
tail,
sprint
really
on a
wonderful.
No, it's good.
You know what almost
sprint.
one shots a Warp Wolf?
Suck it, starters.
Yeah.
So
Fury
3
is really good.
No free charge.
Yeah, it's basically Fury 4 with Lightning Strike, except it has, what is it, Vortex or Coil? or what is it called? It's animus.
Weird lashy tail
A
thing.
tractor.
Tractor.
A tractor. So it has an animus in addition to lightning strike. It gets cast lightning strike for free.
No, it has lightning strike, but you don't get to choose to cast it. You have to cast it.
So you get to move.
Oh, you can take a Hellion though, which is actually a really
then
good buy
there's
for 6 points.
Well, I was actually saying this to Ben. Is the POW 18 sustained attack with sprint is kind of compelling.
It's kind of good.
Yeah. Provided you're not trying to take out like an arm 20, 34 boxes. If you're going for like an arm 19 heavy, yeah, you'll probably get it.
If you get a free charge, and you also have harm, so your straight dice on a Kador heavy, so your straight dice up 2, so you charge it for free, so 10, and then 10, 5, and then 7 times 3 is 21. That kills a Kador heavy.
Well, it kills a Gator heavy, but
No,
that's not a
Kador
real...
heavy.
Oh, Kador
It
heavy.
kills
okay.
a Juggernaut.
I was going to say Gator heavy, like, we're not talking real heavy.
No, you're not
but
talking hard to kill.
Hey, those wrestlers. You got to be respectful, man.
They're like Titans,
And
but
there's
easier.
no snake eyes chance either after the first hit,
It's true.
which is not nothing.
It's definitely not nothing, because when you lose the game because of Snake Eyes, won it 8 times.
Yeah.
And then you sprint away further than the other Juggernauts can charge. It's not bad. I think a Nerf. I think I would definitely look at a pair of Nerfs with her.
No, yeah, I'd agree. I think Krissa was supposed to put the Nerf on the table, hence the battle box, but she just doesn't. I think Fyanna might actually manage
I think
it.
Lilith 1 puts a Nerf on the table. I think Fyanna puts a Nerf. He plays Nerfs even harder.
Yeah, if you're running like double Angelii, you run maybe 1 or 2 at Nerfs. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd buy that. Yeah.
And then I think maybe a Scythian too, because I like Overtake and Murderous with it.
Okay, so just big battle group and shitloads of Fury control.
So 2 Nerfs and a Scythian, you're really not that heavily invested into a battle group yet.
Angelius.
Angelius is so
Why
good.
would you want that? It already has Overtake. Come on.
That one.
That's Scornergy. We don't take that
You're
shit.
not
Legion.
extracting maximum... Oh, my God.
Wow, I don't.
My favorite was
I had 7
Legion
months of this on
needs
my
maximum-
own fucking podcast. I don't want it now.
Brad took like 4 angels with Abby too, and I'm like, what the fuck are you retarded? They already have fight and reach. And he's like, that's not why I'm taking this. No, but they have fight and reach.
No, don't.
He got so mad.
I can't have this conversation. I'm gonna black out and start killing people.
Taking Rock with Borkatu is always a bad idea because he's already immune to cold.
God damn it.
You're wasting synergy.
God damn it.
I told about Brad's list of like 4 angels because they already have fight and reach. I don't think he realized. I think he realized. He only played Scythians. I don't think he knew.
No, those wings work, Brad.
No, yeah, you're good. You got double wings for more fly.
Super double wings.
Where are you going?
Carl, what was her feat?
So her feet is +3 def and dodge.
So Morgul 2, but better.
Basically,
I
that.
will also say that
Poltergeist is
Nis
pretty
Raptors
good,
with
yeah.
her feet are really, really good.
I think
as well.
Raptors with Fury, Iron Flesh, and her
Poltergeist
feet. Yeah,
is
I
technically better.
definitely see
Yeah,
that.
no, I got a lot of
Because
work done
Morgul too,
in a
the
couple of my
evasive
games with
guy.
Fury
No,
and
that
Weapon
is
Master
better.
Charges,
Yeah.
POW 13.
Yeah.
Really solid.
Yep, I can
But
definitely see
it's
that.
better than Mordecai's feet because you can force. Or Mordecai's feet is better because you can force people to kill box themselves. Because when their caster aims and shoots you and pushes themselves out of the kill box, they're like, "Oh shit!"
My most favorite game moment was
Sure,
a kill box.
you're right.
Happened once.
My most favorite game moment was a kill box scenario against a Kane 1 player. He pops feet on Mordecai's feet turn. Kane hits the board edge before he's done. Because he can't not resolve the attacks because he declares them all at once. He's like, oh, fuck.
That's amazing.
If only being better at hitting things.
Yeah. No, so Morgul 2 and Mark 2, if he had dodge in place of evasive and was +3 defense, like Fyanna's feat is better than his current feat by a mile. Like the blind thing, like I think that's a genuinely great feat. And the dodge thing, like you can, if your opponent misses 2 attacks, you can step into their back arc and they're just done. Like that's really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Fyanna's good. Admonition on her card too.
Admonition is awesome.
Which is really good.
Admonition gets you halfway there.
I think
Like-
I just
like-
wish she had sprint so she could. I love casters that do work, and she's right there. She wants to do it with Chain Strike and Crit Smite.
I mean, really,
And then
she's a support caster. That's
She
really
is. She's
what
a support
she is.
caster with a really cool weapon. but I want to use that weapon, and it's going to get me killed.
No,
Well, hey,
every time you
it's-
use that
it's
weapon, if you're not killing some
Winning
random
the
solo,
game.
right, you're
it's
doing
thematic,
it wrong.
because
Yeah.
the exact weaknesses of Fyanna 1 are the exact weaknesses of Fyanna 2.
If you use her weapon, she
Hey,
dies.
No.
The,
One point of
the
interest,
weaknesses
though.
being that she doesn't have sprint, you would never pay points for her.
Yeah. I will point out that her weapon did get magical between being a solo and being a warlock.
Nice.
Of course.
So she scratched some nice, cool lines on it.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And
Get
Gallows,
magic.
Gallows
For
will
some
lose
reason,
you some
her hair
games
got
too.
3 times
Because you're
as
like,
long.
all I need is a fucking 2 and I win this game. So I'm going to lose.
They use double cast Gallows.
I spent a lot of time playing Gareth. That spell is the worst thing to stake
Yep.
the game in. Like, everything on red, black. Well, fuck.
Remember when I wasn't losing? That was fun.
Remember when I didn't blow half my stack on a spell that did nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all fucking sunshine and rainbows, so I fucking guess this garbage nuke.
Yeah, remember when the spell was amazing? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Yeah.
Because I sure as fuck don't.
I'm just confirming now.
I've cast.
There are 2 casters better at playing Callus's list than Callus, right?
Wait, who's the other one?
Rias.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, he's not even going to fight it.
No, wait, I thought Callus was the guy you took for, like, game nights at the store when you're like, hey, have you guys seen this guy?
No, it's
What's
you've
wrong
got
with
to.
No, he's actually really good, but
Did you
people
say
think
which one
he's
is Callus?
the best
No, I
at
said,
playing
what's wrong
infantry
with
and
him?
Legion. He's not.
No,
I think Rias is better
twins are
because she has a more
exceptional at it,
dynamic
too.
game. But I think Callus is really good right now.
He says Callus is 4. Twins are 3.
Well, no, twins will end a game and take a lot There's a
I actually
coincidence.
do like.
Twins, Basil.
I like that the twins give swordsman Pathfinder. That's something that's annoying that swordsmen don't have.
She spent all of
But
the
in
twins'
general, Callus is
carriers.
better than the twins.
No, you pitch up to the board and you move your army like you're pretending to play a real game with your opponent, and then you kill them on the top of 2
With what?
with Rias. You stab them in the face.
Is it like the
Hey,
feet
some
return
people
to the
don't understand
playground,
what
or
swords
is that not
do.
working
They just
Huh?
don't get
That
it.
works for like a week. On the find a way to get Rias dead and then feed her back into
Oh
play.
no, you can just kill her now. They don't have that rule anymore.
Oh, nice.
You can
Welcome
just
back,
have your
Lance.
city and kick her in the butt.
Hi, Lance.
Super podcast.
Ultra podcast.
I'm trying to be professional and yeah,
Yes,
they're just all
we were
talking over
talking
each other
Una for a
it's not
good
really-
solid 30
No,
minutes.
that's
after
not
we
how
left.
this
As we mentioned
podcast
earlier,
works.
we're all
No.
professionals, but it has
Do
nothing to
everyone.
do with audio recording.
Oh, shh. Wait, can I cuss? Can I
Like,
cuss?
That's like the
Yeah,
that's
you
like
can
the
cuss.
12th word
Fuck
you've
yeah.
said so far.
Fuck yes.
Bienvenido on my
Crump.
What's up, guys? I did. My poor family. My poor Muse Miami family.
You have ashamed your family.
They suck anyway. What's up, guys?
Was that it?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
You guys
can't
just-
hear you.
Have you just gone through all the casters?
Basically, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we've done so
We
far.
rated everything
Well,
a
we haven't
4.
rated down.
Una's a 4 because she can't beat Baldur 2.
Out of what?
4.
just-
Out of 4.
What's
We're
what
only-
number
we're rating
scale
them-
is out of 4?
We're rating
the
them amongst
Are you
each
guys
other.
the Sun Times? Like, what is this?
We're rating them against each other.
No, we're following the
Yeah, so
Michelin
it's like
standard.
out of
There's
the
1
4
star to 4
piles
stars.
of garbage, there's like one good one.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. There's at least one playable caster. It's definitely
Yeah, and his name is Zaadesh.
Zaadesh too.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what? Satrani
I regret nothing.
Pretty good at their PAL 13 weapon matches with Matt 9 and defensive strike.
Sure, it'd be great if they were that, and your opponent couldn't just back up to negate it too.
What? Sometimes that wins you the game.
Wait, doesn't Vorkash have defensive strike?
Hopefully you get to
Double down.
Doesn't he? Doesn't
It's
he?
like
though?
the double flight and
I'm gonna
reach all over again.
I'm going to spend my first defensive
I'm
strike.
immune to knockdown, and I'm immune to knockdown from this guy, and I'm immune to knockdown from solid ground.
That definitely is true in one of my lists. Ulons are triply immune to knockdown. They're naturally steady. I have no sleeping on the job and solid.
Weren't you just
I
talking
still
about?
I
like-
take Effigy of Valor in an army where I have 5 models that can be knocked down.
Weren't you just talking about not taking like Rock with Borka too because you're
Yeah.
wasting the immune to cold
Yeah.
part?
No, but you don't get it. Sometimes they'll
But
knock
not-
him down 4
but not
times.
for- yeah, okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no,
have
'cause
depth of
It's okay
anti-knockdown.
to double stamp a single stamp, but you have to triple stamp a double stamp.
Okay.
Facts. You
Hey,
can't
Crump.
just put that challenge out
Hey, Crump.
What? What's up?
Vorkesh does not have defensive strike.
there. Get
Yeah,
wrecked.
is it retaliatory?
He's clean.
He just
No.
has cleave. Okay.
Hey, he's got cleave.
I vaguely remembered him having like
Most
punch
people
you
with
back.
spears have cleave.
Vorkesh has great cleave.
Vorkesh is really not worth it, I don't think.
Hey, he
I
gained
love
Sacred
these-
Ward instead of Spell Ward.
Yeah,
I
that's
love-
a good thing, but
But he's
still,
the best part about that unit now.
I loved. Well, that's not saying much.
If you're paying that many points,
I mean,
for
he's
them,
got
you might
8
as well,
boxes, so
Yeah,
that's
the main
something.
box.
he's like a POW 13 weapon master, right? That's like he's higher than the rest.
He's
I think you're
13.
thinking redeem.
No, he's 13.
He does
yeah,
hit
he's
harder.
13.
13
Yeah, I
blast.
think he's a PAL 13.
So he's
I
about
actually like-
15
Is he blessed?
defensive
Yeah, he's
strike
blessed.
weapon
That's
master.
not nothing.
I liked him a lot in the last edition, but Citrati were like a lot more worth considering in the last
Yeah.
edition too. Wait, I only like
As in worth considering at all.
See,
Yeah.
there you go. Like, every time you talk about scoring, you're going to have to start issuing trigger warnings. Because, like,
they're
you're like,
terrible.
Citrati are not worth
Come
Yeah,
taking.
across
And I'm
anytime
like,
at you.
Anytime
I
you're
don't-
about to comment on score, say get good and then start talking.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
dang it, I'm out now. I can't get in that conversation.
I at least have like some immunity because I already rage quit Scorn before the spoilers went live. Like, I'm sick of losing round 1 of Masters. Fuck this. I'm going to Kador. Next up in the bottom
whoa.
of the heap.
Wait, you did that in Mark
You
2.
did that
Yeah.
in Mark 2?
Mistake.
No.
Scorn was way better in Kador
Seriously,
in Mark 2.
I'm over 80% win rate with Kador since I switched.
Well, in Mark 3, right?
In Mark
No,
3?
even in the last
Mark 3
edition.
helped that.
Yeah, so you lost 20. Of the games, the 100%, 20% of those games were Mark 2.
Yeah.
You lost all of those.
Yeah.
And you've won everything since.
It was clearly great.
Right.
He's actually never played this game. He's just throwing out numbers.
Yeah, he played 8
To be
games,
fair.
and then when Mark 3 came out, he played 4 games.
I don't play this
I
game
get
anymore.
blind drunk, blacked out, and suddenly I'm in the Invitational. I don't even know what's happening.
Well, we know what happened. We sent the check in.
They don't call him Hot Carl for nothing.
How did he get that nickname? We should do an investigation discovery
We know how we got that nickname. I don't know, but we know.
by just taking a shit on people's
Collectively.
chests.
Yeah, that's how you got
Okay.
it.
Like,
We're
I
talking
can
about
launch an
safety.
investigation, but there are things that man is not meant to know, and I'm not willing to discover them.
I'm just saying there's a strip club really close to his store.
We are not, no.
You're the one that wanted to go to the strip
I
club.
said no.
Sunday night post
Scott,
invitation.
It's really inappropriate right now to go to the strip club.
That's 2 hours from now.
We've got an hour and a half. We're good.
Oh,
Jamie
no,
Huddle says,
no.
"Get the fuck out."
But this is the best thing.
I feel like that guy needs a hug.
Well, he has since Focus and Fury stopped.
Oh, is he on Focus and Fury?
Oh, he was
Yeah.
on the Nigel reboot. Yeah.
They did a reboot?
Yeah,
I've
I
never
remember.
heard Focus and
Focus
Fury.
and Fury was the best cast
so they
ever.
died in like
I wanted those
2012,
two, I just
and then
never
they had the Nigel and Friends show in 2013.
It was a good
I
time.
remember the reboot.
I-
Original Focus and Fury was before my time.
I love the Nigel.
God,
and
I
Friends
feel so
reboot.
old.
I played
Like-
40K back then.
I feel like an old Warmachine player, but I'm only like
Back
27.
in my day,
Yeah.
Carax was bad.
Yeah,
Back
exactly.
in my day,
Look, dude,
Vlad had brittle frost on
you
his
don't
card.
understand.
Yeah, Tuck Pepperidge
what
Farm
Lich was
remembers.
like at the beginning of Mark II,
Like
man.
bananas.
He used to be able to. He used to be, basically, it's like, how do you remember Lich's feet?
I want to explain to you.
Like that's the mark
That's
of
how
like
you know.
when they started, because he went through like 6 erratas in Mark II. So it's like, what was the worst thing he could bring back? And people are like, Tartarus, and you're like, you have no
You
idea.
have no idea.
Soul
No
Hunters
clue.
in charge
Yeah, I
for
was going
your
to say
army.
soul hunters. Like,
Yeah.
that's when you know you've been there for a while.
So, normally when you play, I've never played against someone as my first game against them being Lich, except for one guy that randomly came to our city, like he was like traveling through and stopped by the game store to play a
And
game.
his name was Keith Christensen.
No.
Oh.
no. It was way harder to beat this guy.
To be
Because,
not Keith.
right. So, he goes to
Have you ever
activate
played
Lich.
against Keith playing Lich?
This is bottom of 2. He activates Lich, runs directly at my caster, and I'm just completely lost. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, now Lich is going to feed. And I'm like, I don't think this is okay. And the first one he puts down is Tartarus. I'm like, all right, stop. Like, this is not okay. Like, nothing you're doing is okay. And then he wanted to charge through my army. Like,
Yeah.
not only did he not read anything but the back of the card, he also didn't read the rule book.
Fair.
It was amazing. I
That
was
guy,
like, so
that
you
guy would be
think
harder to beat.
that running 12 and feeding these guys back like 5 inches forward and then charging through all of my stuff is okay?
That seems
Well,
actually
yeah,
pretty
clear-
good.
Clearly, he never loses.
Yeah, he
I
wins
know.
most
It
games
must-
on turn 2. But I didn't see a problem with it.
Always read people's cards when you don't know how their spells work, and they also don't know how their spells work. Because we thought Lich 1 was broken as shit because He just teleports, then charges you. It's like unstoppable.
Duh.
And then he feeds to get his focus back and just kills you.
Oh, welcome to Mark 1.
Yeah. So read cards. It helps.
I'm really legitimately sad that Lich 2 is now probably the worst caster in the game.
I don't know about in the game.
By level of, like, actually just unplayable.
I think Xerxis
There's a
1
lot
might
of
be worse.
scorn casters. Xerxis
You
2 is
are
really
crazy.
atrocious.
You guys are
Xerxis-
No, I don't
Xerxis
think I
1's
am.
real bad.
What does Lich do now?
He has a feat.
He has Parasite.
He does not. His feat is objectively worse than like 7 other casters' feats who literally bring back the same number of dudes, but plus 5 more.
Is it? It's
No.
objective-
Also, his dudes don't stay around for the rest of the effing game.
No.
It's
Well, none of the one thing
Hold
you
on,
said
hold on.
was
He's
true.
better than Xerxes 1 because he has
Yeah.
Parasite.
No, yeah.
That's the only reason.
It's objective.
He
his
has a
feat
damage-
is objectively worse than good
Have
casters'
you read
feats.
Xerxes 1's
His-
card?
Yeah.
He's fucking worthless.
Yeah, that's exactly it. His feat is
He is
objectively...
Defender's Ward. Is the only thing on his 2 cards that is worth.
He's worse than other casters with similar
She's
feats. But is he worse than the
See,
truly
he's skeptical.
epically bad scorn casters, both named Xerxes?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
There's no fucking way. What
Yeah.
are you talking?
Xerxes 2 is legit. He didn't change from like. He didn't like. He like didn't change from Mark
I'm
2,
gonna
right?
start shitting
like
my
his
brains
beard.
out right now.
And now
Oh
he's
my
like
God.
here.
Yeah.
And Xerxes
He's like-
1 was here.
He's
Now he's
very
here.
low. Lich 2 is low.
I actually want to see how the game, like how Lich would be in Mark 3 if they just didn't touch him and they just made the general changes to the game and the rest of the Crix faction that they did.
I think he'd be
Because
okay.
the way they changed Bile Thralls, I was like, oh, I
Well,
can actually beat him potentially, maybe
He-
now.
Who
he's a
cares
genuinely-
But
how
Bile
they-
Thralls are not in an environment where they can abuse the entire meta anymore.
Yeah,
Correct,
who cares
and they
how
also
change
changed
Bile Thralls?
Purge.
Because Bile Thralls don't kill your entire army anymore.
The problem is Lich by himself with his feet can take out 4 or 5 heavies.
Correct. He would be the fix of the armor spam and like
Except Crix can deal
Vortex
with
spam.
heavies.
Yeah. By the way, I'm terrified of this happening, which is Crix got nerfed into Oblivion. And Jason Souls is back at the helm, and he's just making Crix 2.0 Grimkin.
Yep.
I'm very terrified of that happening. I'm
Crix
so scared.
2.0 Pumpkinheaded Boogaloo.
Yeah.
What is that, Brandon? A bunch of cat skeletons and trench coats.
Yeah.
Oh, I never said that. That was Carl.
No.
Bus.
I want to try to. Yeah.
I legitimately think that in 90, if you played the best list you could find for each caster, I think Lich would win like 7 out of 10 games against Xerxes 1 at least.
You know what's fun? I think if they brought
built
back,
a Lich 2
I don't-
list versus a Xerxes 1
All right,
list,
you know what? Let's test that this weekend.
We can
I'll
do
bring
it.
Xerxes, you bring Lich. I'll table
I'll
you
have
every
to
time.
Crix.
We'll just proxy it. We're
Play
not
this-
playing in a
play this guy.
legitimate tournament.
Play this guy.
Like, oh no, I
He
don't
knows how to
actually
play
own
Lich 2.
Xerxes.
See, he's ducking.
Well, I'm literally the one who's saying we can play with Litcos.
I don't play Linkos.
Let's use it. Yeah.
you know what's Lich 2 in Mark 2 Lich 2 and
Crump, I'll
Mark
go to
3
my
would
car and
not
get
beat
Xerxes
15
1 for you,
Mad Dogs.
buddy.
It would not be anywhere close to balanced.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
You said it wouldn't be balanced.
I said wouldn't beat 15 Mad Dogs.
Wait, Lich 2 and Mark 2? Would
Is
it
it
be
the new
15 Mad
standard?
Dogs?
Mark 2, Lich 2, and Mark 3 would not
You
beat
just-
15 Mad Dogs.
You just
He killed
list
10
rate
of them.
like
the list
this
you
is a
played
12
with him
Mad
would-
Dogs
but you
list.
just switched to 30 Bane Knights.
Right.
And you'd be fine.
Like every list from here on in has a rating system, and the rating system is the number of
Yeah,
Mad
yeah,
Dogs.
The
that you
way
kill.
we
It's your
judge
Mad
Mark
Dog
3
rating.
lists is the Mad Dog rating system.
You're like,
how many Mad Dogs can
on
it
a
kill?
scale of 0 to 15 Mad Dogs.
How
I give
many
this
can
list
you kill?
14 Mad Dogs.
His feet alone kills like 7.
It does not kill 7.
Use Parasite 4 of them.
It's 1 per Bane Thrall.
The problem is, Mad Dogs would never kill Lich, and Lich would kill 2 Mad Dogs a turn himself.
And the Mad Dogs would never kill Lich.
The Mad Dogs
how
could
does-
literally
they
never
would
kill
because
him.
they would
Kill 2
slam
Mad Dogs a
one
turn.
Mad Dog. One Mad Dog would slam another Mad Dog into Lich.
Have you ever played against Lich? No. Have you ever actually touched
Yes,
that
I have.
caster?
I have.
Like, have you ever
Slams are
dealt more
slowed
than
by
1
rough terrain,
damage
sir.
to him?
Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty
Slams are
impossible.
slow. Slams are slow. But you the farthest you could ever slam them is 3 inches.
Oh, because of Hellbound.
Yeah. And they can't even run there because they
So-
don't have fucking pack.
So what you do is you spend boosts and you surround them with Mad Dogs that explode to do power 14.
So, here's
doesn't hurt him.
Dice
Here's-
off 2, so you're not going to do a lot.
Here's the all-important question.
So
In
if
the
you kill
context of-
8 of your own jacks, you get him about to half.
In the context of the new Journeyman Warlock,
legit.
where do we rate
No, but butcher
Lich
feet,
2?
so it's an extra die.
Lich 2 is definitely number 5.
better than Zaadesh, worse than
Now, I'm not
Zaadesh?
going to argue
Better
better
than
than any of
Zaadesh.
the ones we've talked about today. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's better than Xerxis, which is hot garbage.
Sure.
Wait,
Okay,
are
so
we allowed to add a 5 to the
One,
scale?
Xerxes 1.
Xerxes
Xerxes
worst
does
of the
both.
new
Why do you guys
battle-
hate Xerxes 1 so much?
He's
look
terrible.
at his card?
Yes.
What does he do? Tell me
terrible.
what he does.
He has 2 big sticks.
You know what's good about him in Mark II? Because he lost everything but Defender's Horn.
Yeah, he changed Fury out for
Yeah,
an
that
ability
sweet
that could
rip
For something that's way, way worse than Fury.
You don't have to pay for it.
But you
That's
get
a thing.
you get to start humming that Scarface song at your opponent.
Yeah, we went from plus 3 damage on 2 or 3 things to plus 2 damage on the first attack of 1 thing. Way worse. Like, he might as well... It's literally the worst damage buff in the game.
I mean, they're both bad casters. We can probably agree on that. Lich 2 and
Turns out
Xerxes 1 are
Scything
both bad.
Touch and Parasite is better than... What is it called? Like Strength of Arms
They're
or some
both
shit?
they're both bad.
Stir the blood.
Stir the blood.
Don't forget, push it to the
Oh,
limit.
you guys forgot to mention he picked up tactical supremacy. That's
He didn't pick that up. He always had that.
he
No,
did
he
not
didn't.
have
He did-
tactical
he
supremacy.
did not.
He got a
Yeah,
tactician at Martial Discipline.
No,
He
yeah,
traded Martial Discipline for Tactician, which is a better ability, and now he has...
He also traded.
did
also
reposition
picked
three.
up
Martial Discipline doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
but he has
picked
the
up-
he picked up the spell tactical
Why
supremacy.
the fuck
on
are we
his card.
talking about Xerxes 1?
I
He's
don't
terrible.
know.
Exactly. He's number 6 on the list.
Oh.
God damn, I'm gonna have to
All right,
build
where-
Xerxes.
where
I'm
are
gonna have
we
to get into
putting
Scorn.
Fyanna?
Somebody loan me a Scorn faction. I'm not gonna actually buy
No,
more.
no.
Wargaming.
The Scorn
they're
has
real
good
cheap on
things.
eBay
I've got one in my car.
Xerxes 1.
He's fine.
I've
I
got
love
one in my
Xerxes
car,
1 and
Nick.
Mark II.
I got you covered.
I could beat you
You're not getting out of
playing
this
like
shit.
20 Mad Dogs with Xerxes 1.
I mean, you're not using the score
I don't
because they're
think-
fucking terrible. So
don't
I'll let
think
you bring
that's
more
true.
Mad Dogs than is legally possible, and I'll win.
I mean, I would just take Berserkers, but sure.
That's fine.
20 Berserkers. I'll
Yeah.
play 20 Berserkers into anything that you
have
can
to
bring of
physically own,
75
you have to
points.
physically own them though first before we play this
I have
game.
15.
you want a Berserker?
No, I have 16 Berserkers. I'll just bring the 16. That's fine.
Okay.
Tell you what,
Fair and balanced.
we'll just call it even. I'll drop 4 Mad Dogs to upgrade them all to Berserkers.
Yeah.
All right, so I think Fyanna comes in at a strong 2.
Yeah, Fyanna 2 sounds right. Better than Zaadesh.
Don't
better
judge
than... Wait. So we've gone Una, Fyanna, Zaadesh?
No,
and
Tuna.
Tuna,
Tuna, Fyanna, Zaadesh, and then Horgle.
Horgle. So Horgle is only the worst because he's the least
least
impactful
important.
in his faction.
Yes.
Sure.
But if we were rating like value of these casters just generally,
I am more excited probably about Horgle than Zaadesh, but I think this Zaadesh is probably better.
Boosh.
that's because everything around him sucks. But
Okay, so
I
what
mean,
is-
we've been down this road already. All right, I'll give it up. Scott, you fucking win. Scott, you win.
Yes, I won something. I won something.
Zaadesh is better than Horgle. I'm done. I'm gonna
No,
go kill
we haven't
myself
finished.
now.
He's also better than Xerxes 1 and Lich 2.
And Lich 2.
Well, anything is.
Those are
I know.
those are both
no,
true.
Fyanna 1 is better than those casters.
How about this? Xerxes 1 hampered his faction more than Lich 2 did at WTC. Hands down.
Oh yeah.
No.
Nope.
Nobody played
that
Lich at
blew
WTC.
my mind when you guys actually gave the numbers. Like
He didn't
accounts for
like
almost
the worst of anybody, basically.
he accounted for a third of the faction's losses.
Yeah, and he accounted for over a third of their games and like 28% of their losses.
If no one played Xerxes
It was like-
1, Scorn taxed even with the other factions. That blew my fucking
It was something
mind.
like 35% of games played with Xerxes 1 with Scorn, and he lost like 65% of it was like 85% of those games. It was like
it was
fucking horrendous.
outrageous.
I think it was the worst win percentage in a caster that was played at least 12 times.
God damn it. I hate when this happens.
It's a war game.
My literal favorite thing to do in Warmachine is to prove people on the internet wrong.
Wait,
Now I gotta do it with Xerxes 1.
is that what we're doing here now?
No, that's just what I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
What are we doing?
Now he's gonna buy Xerxes
Now I gotta
1,
play
and
Scorn.
he's gonna build a list with all Cyclopses, and it's gonna be amazing. And
All
everyone's gonna
Cyclops.
be-
So
yeah,
like 10
Cyclops.
Mullet cards?
yeah.
Okay. That would probably be a decent list.
That would actually not be bad.
If you could
that'd be
do
better
10
than
of them.
15 Mad Dogs.
On a scale
Because the Mad Dogs literally would never hit anything.
No. We have to rate it on the new scale. I give this 10 mullet card list 16 Mad Dogs.
Isn't it like a handicap? Like how many Mad Dogs you would need to defeat the list?
No, it's the opposite. It's how many Mad Dogs can that list reliably beat?
Oh, that's like 7.
You say 7?
10 Malakarns can beat 7 Mad Dogs.
But I'd give it 8 pizzas.
Wow.
I give it
Truly,
9
we
Mad
are living
Dogs.
in the most scientific era.
Yeah.
I remember when Chaosi's at acrobatic.
No, that's just the truth.
And
Not
backstab all the time?
I mean, backstab's pretty good. I remember when my mom was an opportunist.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
It's a shitty backstab. Because that's a dumber name.
It's future backstab.
Yeah.
The once and future backstab.
Apparently, also, they thought Dominate wasn't good enough, so they give it, like, the ability to control characters and future sight most of the time.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
It's okay, because Thorn's not good, so let's buff him.
The less I think about that, the happier I am. Like, every time
What, just
I
Haley
remember-
2 in general?
No, every time I remember that Dominate is a full advance, like, my will to live drops pretty substantially.
I really think you should be allowed to charge with the Dominate. It seems kind of weak with
Yeah,
just full
definitely.
advance.
Dominate needs to get better. It's a really underpowered
I think you should
spell.
be able
I mean,
to
it's
power attack.
4.
No,
Like, so your Juggernaut could throw your caster forward.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah, free power attacks.
We're
That
in the
seems okay.
self-loathing territory because I won the raffle today, and that's all turning into Haley 2 list stuff.
Nice. Was that what
Christ.
prize was that? Was it just generic?
I thought
store
you were
credit,
all in
or-
on Xerxis ones. What the hell?
You already
I'm
own
building a
Xerxis
Xerxis
1.
one list
Oh, that's
right now.
Crump. Sorry.
Good luck with
It's gonna
that.
be legit.
So the worst part is I have a plain envelope with nothing in it that has my name handwritten in one kind of pen and $300 in another kind of pen, and I have to ask Jay, what the fuck do I do with this?
You get models.
I would just go to every store in the country.
Will
Eventually
you
someone
honor
will take
this?
it.
You should know exactly what you
Yeah. Oh my god.
So what's in your Xerxes 1 list so
I'm
far?
working
there,
on it.
Crump?
Hold on. It's gonna be legit.
Hey,
We're gonna
be
make Xerxes great again.
Super legit.
Believe me.
Xerxes
Just great.
is amazing. Just
Hold on.
wait and see.
We've got
Xerxes
the best
is
The best
Tetsubo.
Xerxes.
best.
The best
Literally,
Xerxes.
people
He's gonna
tell
be
me all the
huge.
time. They
He's gonna
tell
be
me
huge.
we have the
Best
best
Xerxes.
Tetsubos.
No one
Are
has
you
better
gonna get a Tiberian,
Tetsubos.
but make Signar pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
I
I mean,
bet-
if you got a free Tiberian with Xerxes,
They
you'd be almost.
they're going to
worth
make Retribution pay for it.
it. Retribution's going to pay for it.
All right, Tiberian's
Wait,
probably
they already
a trap.
built the wall, though.
Is it really?
And, yeah.
The rules are going to pay for it. They're like subhumans, right?
Yeah, Rat's going to build the wall.
They're going to build it higher this time.
I'm just saying, they lost Vinter, they went to shit.
Maybe that was it. Maybe Vinter was like giving them like some kind of necromantic buff, and just nobody knew.
Crooked
Xerxes
Vinter.
1 might have actually been Vinter, and now he's some stand-in guy. Just the worst.
Just
in the
so
game.
far, the worst ones in
We
the
brought
game.
up that Xerxes 1 was in fact the worst one
Wait,
in
so-
the game objectively,
So,
and then Trump said, "Oh, Lich 2 is also."
so there's a giant Zerkova.
There,
Here's the question: is Denny 2 worse than
I don't think
no.
so.
Oh,
I don't
Because
think
she has
so.
a good
Oh.
spell list.
So
I mean, when Hellmouth gets
What?
nerfed in January, she will be.
Hellmouth's going to get nerfed.
I think so too.
Well, so there's
Well,
a
one of the things is,
Why does Airburst only trigger on enemies, but Hellmouth doesn't? Explain that shit to
wait
me.
airburst. Like, wait, what do you mean?
You
If
can't
miss-
Airburst a friendly model and have
Really?
the AoE happen.
Wait, what?
But Hellmouth works.
No,
triggers
airburst.
enemies.
Airburst is just an AOE
making
4.
it flat out. Only in the attack.
What, Hellmouth?
It still pulls.
No. He's not talking
Flat
about
out. So
just
there's a
anything you
rule
can
that
only
specifies
ever
you can
attack
only
your enemy
attack
models.
enemy
You cannot
models.
attack friendly models.
How does that?
I don't.
I don't. I think that's fine.
Brandon. It's
Well, you
any
can't
model.
target your own model.
It happens even if you miss.
See,
It's just pick a guy in your control.
So one of the things
drop a 4-inch AOE. do
one of the
POW
things
8s
I
to
really
everyone.
liked coming from
I
40,
thought it was just a.
coming from other games
No,
to this
it's
game.
any model, and if you miss it, deviates and still does fucking POW 8s to everyone.
Okay.
I thought you were just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna roll it in your last game. But as it turns out, you made up a spell in your head that doesn't
Maybe.
exist.
It's entirely possible.
What are you talking about?
Airburst is range control. Target any model.
Any
model.
model.
discussed with- I must have been just. I'm probably thinking Shrapnel Swarm.
No, yeah. It's
I'm thinking Shrapnel Swarm on Mother because
Yeah.
I played that for like a year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, you don't put it. You still have to target it. It's
in Mark II you had
you still.
No,
you still.
I don't think you did.
You still have to
Ground
target.
Pounder
It's still an offensive spell. It can deviate, but nothing. It doesn't matter if you deviate because it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
There goes Chris.
Denny 2 versus Lich 2.
Bad caster haterade.
Denny 2 is better.
All right, worst caster in each faction.
There's a hate wagon for Zerkova 2. Is that
She's really
Zerkova 2's bad.
I haven't played her since the edition transition. She was
Is-
my number 2 in the last one, but
I
Is
thought
she
was really
bad?
good, Mark II, but I think she just doesn't do what you want to do anymore. Like, Sacklam is really cool, but you know we needed Sacklam in Mark II, not Mark III.
yeah. Well, and the boosted to hit sprays are not super
The problem
relevant
is
anymore.
90% of Khador jacks don't need 2 focus; they need 1 or 3.
Yeah.
So
Well, also,
Sacklam's not getting you very far.
well, also, what's it? The spray cav being literally the same cost as Ulans is not a good place to be because Ulans have obsolesced most of the infantry.
There's a lot of lists I'd rather take Outriders in, but yeah, I see your point.
If you're gonna take guys who punch other guys, you're gonna take Ulans.
Outriders just seem like a victim of the meta right now.
That might be true. Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I think they're still fine, but, like, what are you playing them into right now?
Well,
Like,
they're-
what in the meta are you playing them
Well,
into?
You take
they're-
them as like your only anti.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fine in a world of all unit entries versus all unit entries. In the world of you have to build a discrete 75-point list, fuck them. They're right out.
Also,
Yeah.
The Khaldun Lord giving them Battle Wizard is pretty sweet.
What about just taking a minimum?
Golden Lord giving Karchev Battle Wizard and Zerkova Battle Wizard is
So
pretty sweet.
Because once he charges and kills something, he can do a star action spell.
Yeah.
So I've actually
Right on.
I've actually been playing around with Outriders a little bit, and like I've found that like they always work best as min units.
Yeah.
Because like I'll put like a min unit in like Vlad 1, so that way I can just have the rest of my list focus on like the things Vlad wants to do, and I don't have to worry about having an anti-infantry element in the list.
Well,
It's been pretty solid.
Anytime you have a spray with signs of importance on it,
It's amazing.
ridiculous. And the fact is that you can take light cab that can sit there and even 3 models that can sit there with signs of importance spray. I mean, you're in money right there. So
Right. Well, again,
I mean,
though,
and the reposition is just ridiculous. So I don't know
the,
how there's
the
downside to
Khaldun
that.
Lord change to Outriders, I think, is a massive change because you can charge 12 inches forward, get your
3
charge
dice
attack,
to hit.
3 dice to hit,
Map
then
5.
Battle Wizard a spray down their line of dudes. Like, that is incredibly strong.
Well, it's strong-ish if you're fighting warrior models.
How many
What,
points
a
is the
unit of
Khaldun Lord?
Outriders is what, 13 points?
12. Yeah.
12, yeah.
points. Khaldun, so 17 points for Khaldun Lord and Outriders. Khaldun Lord is worth 5
that sounds
points.
worse when you say it out loud, though. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
I can feel my Outrider boner deflating when you say 17 points.
Yeah, but the Khaldun Lord himself though is a pretty solid. Like he's a pretty solid 5-point
Lord
solo.
Did he go
like-
back up to magic ability 8?
He did.
He did,
okay.
yes. Yep, magic ability 8.
All right,
Like his
so
ability
doesn't
to
he
shut
also have
down shots
anti-magic
is pretty
now?
impressive.
He has anti-shooting. He picked up Wind
he has,
Ravager.
he has
Wind
crit
Ravager.
dispel.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No,
No.
it's pretty sweet, actually.
All right. So you have a pretty intense Malikov boner, but worst caster in Khador, Zerkova?
Zerkova 2.
I think Zerkova 2 is just out of
Zerkova 2.
necessity that even Harkovich supports Battle Group.
Maybe
She's
maybe
even
old.
better than Old Witch.
Yeah, maybe Old Witch, but
Yeah.
I think Zerkova 2.
Old
I
Witch
think Old
getting
Witch is
apparition
better.
is
The 18 battle group points is you're playing a 93 point army against your opponent's 100 and something.
I honestly wish they would just make the standard game size 105 points and get rid of battle group points.
I agree with you.
Or just make a
because
flat
the battle
one.
the
'Cause
battle
at
group
30
assignment
points.
is like totally.
I think right now,
arbitrary.
at this point, everyone's going to play Warjacks.
It's fucking meaningless. Why does Helena have more Warjack points than
Yeah.
Alara? Like, it makes no sense.
There's no rhyme or reason to it, and I think it just gives casters an unnecessary disadvantage.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Also, that might be something they look at changing because you don't have to change the point cost of models to change the army composition of a certain list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if some casters just particularly strong in synergy, they could just take 10 points off their fucking battle group points, and all of a sudden that list is going to shrink.
Well, yeah, but you have casters who have, like, a buddy that's intrinsic to their shtick. Like, this caster doesn't function without the buddy. And Old Witch is the only one left that's like this. She doesn't function without her buddy, but her buddy means she's playing, like, 15 points down what she should be.
Bethane.
Oh, Bethane, yeah, okay.
But Belphegor is worth probably 10 points.
Also, Makeda, too. She plays
Snapchat's worth
with
points,
nobody.
He is.
And they play about the same points down. It's 18 and 20.
I think also, like, just along those lines. Like it would be really handy if Warjack Warby's points just went away. Just from a new player's perspective, like it's just that much less math they actually have to worry about. Like it's really easy just to look at a new player and say, here's your total. You have 100 and X points to play with. This is what the game size is. Go.
I would have agreed before War Room, and I might be skewed because I pretty much only use War Room at this point.
I'm actually more inclined to agree now that the new War Room is hit, because the old War Room was like they just automatically added your points and you had a cumulative like 60 or 50 something points. Now it's 75, and you have this invisible roster of other points that don't show up.
They just subtract it.
Like they chose literally the worst way to surface battle group points in the app. So like they made it as counterintuitive as possible in the app that most players are going to be using. Like, that's a giant
We can
strike
complain about War
against
Room
the
if we
system.
want. I think the new War Room is pretty good.
Oh, no. As an app, it's fantastic.
Sure. No, yeah, it's certainly better than 2.
How they do the accounting is a catastrophe, though.
Yeah, I do agree. And there's some, like, if you're in play mode, it doesn't show you points, which is kind of annoying if you're trying to give out points to a person.
Oh, no, yeah, because you have to go back to build mode, or you just have to know it, like, off the top of your...
Which I'm sure in, like, 2 or 3 months we're just going to fucking know.
Yeah. I got used to it a while ago, yeah.
But yeah, so there's some frustrations, but I think I don't want to go away from the battle group mandatory points because...
No, I agree with you, yeah.
Maybe War Room needs to change the way it displays how you spend your points.
No, yeah,
Well,
War Room's display
What
is
about
the
going
problem.
to the same battle group points for everybody?
No, yes.
Everyone's got 25.
I don't think that's the answer, but the reason I want to see a difference is because those casters are obviously outliers, like good or bad. That's, I think, where you can find the balance without noticeably changing your kit.
Also, if you go to just a flat rate across the board, you're also looking at losing granularity between things like Loris and the units and all the different pieces out there. So I think it's very important to have a lot of different variation. I think there's different people that get a lot of benefit from having different battle group sizes.
Well, Loris and Scrapjack are the archetype of like why battle group points should be the same across the board, because these casters very heavily lean on their companion. They shouldn't be penalized for having them.
At least they shouldn't be penalized as much. Like I could say, I could see giving them less points, but there's a point where it's just like, yeah, you're bringing something for free, but is it really worth like paying 10 points down just to get this model?
Or Saren and Rias with their in the last edition 1 point.
Yeah, 1 fucking battle group point.
Or like
a caster that needs to generate 12 fury a turn.
Or Makeda 3 with her 2. Like, Butcher 3 is actually probably the strongest argument you can have for varying battle group points, because this guy accounts for a shitload, and his unit matters almost not at all. His companions don't matter. He's just personally stronger than almost every other caster out there.
His dogs are literally there just to piss him off.
Yeah, they're there for Pathfinder until your opponent kills them and gives you 3-inch moves.
Yeah.
Or they're there to put
Vengeance triggering on him now anytime he takes damage is pretty sweet.
Vengeance is hilarious when it triggers on free strikes that Butcher chooses to incur.
Yeah. Well, Energize, you want to take that free strike? Nah.
Fuck it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think you actually ever get the Vengeance, right?
No.
I don't think you do. If not, if you do it during your turn.
Yeah.
It would have to be like an admonition move or something weird.
I'm going to look it up.
Reminder that
during your opponent's turn.
I was gonna say reminder admonition can't be
right.
Yeah.
Maybe a countercharge return. No, because you're already I can't imagine.
No, it would have to be prior to.
So there's a round overlap. So it's damage during the last round. So the last round starts when your new upkeep phase begins, and it encompasses your previous turn and your opponent's previous turn. So he will actually get the Vengeance move from Vengeance he incurs on his own turn.
Right.
Because it happened in the last round.
It's not this round, it's the previous round.
Yeah, exactly. So I have triggered this precisely 0 times. It is a thing you can do, and it is a thing you can make your opponent, like, sad face and eye roll over. But
Are you familiar with the 30-inch threat range Butcher?
Oh, is this the sweet double throw?
The triple throw.
Triple throw.
So you start off with 2 Juggernauts near Butcher, and you end your turn by knocking him down. Like, you headbutt him or slam him or something. So, first Juggernaut walks up, throws him 6. Second Juggernaut walks up, throws him 6 again. Then Rorsch and Brian, diversionary tactics, then walks, and then throws him another 6. So he's moved like 18 inches, but he's knocked down. But you start knockdown, so because you can't be knocked down while knocked down, he never has to forfeit anything.
And then
beyond just standing up.
And then you
So he
run
activates-
you run charge your Zephyr.
No.
No, you can boom howler and you can knock him down that turn and totally use your. Oh no, you can't.
You don't want to knock him down that turn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Reveille doesn't.
You want
work.
it, yeah.
So, but then when you activate, you forfeit action, then walk 5, Energizer 2, and Impending Doom.
And then
But
flashing blade.
You
And then
still
flashing
could Zephyr Boom Howler
You
Reveille
actually-
him and then charge.
You actually could still Zephyr Boom Howler Reveille.
if he's knocked down the turn before, yeah, you can.
You sure
so
can.
this is
Because
So yeah, if you take that
That's
30
why you
point
have Valchab on there.
I mean, you're
Challenge
already
accepted.
taking
two. Yeah. Oh no, I took 2 Juggernauts and Rorschach Brian
I mean, Roche and Brian.
are legit.
How many points is a Min Boom Howler?
11?
Yeah, probably around 11.
Is it 11? Oh,
Min's
God.
11.
So 15
I think
with
Min's
Valchab.
11, max is
That's
15.
less thrilling.
over the last 6 months. I think I've fired Butcher's Blunderbuss at least 10 times more than I did in the last edition.
That is flat out
Just gonna hang
impressive.
out over here. Just killing dudes.
Yeah.
Say,
Flashing blade, impending doom. Oh, I guess I take my combat action. Fuck you, Lanissa.
I just remember seeing Butcher 2 using his blunderbuss to trigger Conferred Rage.
Yep.
The first time somebody did that against me. So
And you're like, shit. This is gonna be bad.
that's a thing?
Mistakes were made.
Yep. I was out of his charge range. What the fuck?
Yeah, I feel bad. You guys like
That's what I did.
So, talking about bad casters, have we talked about Sturgis yet?
I mean, Sturgis is.
I mean, are we gonna kick puppies here?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
come
yes.
on.
Yes,
Sturgis
we need
is
to.
like the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to create a video game around this guy and not at least do something to
I
make
mean-
him at least playable.
And they did kill him in the video game.
They
Even
did.
they
They did
didn't
kill
like him.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
I mean, it's not like
I got
Jake's is any
nothing. That's
better.
fair.
So
Yeah. I mean, that was
Now,
actually one
I
of the
will
better
argue
plot
Jake's
points
at
in
least is
dying.
playable.
Jake's
Agreed.
sure. He's
But, I mean,
Jake's is
Sturgis
better
create
than
the
Sturgis.
dark
That's the
maul
bar.
of the
Like if
fucking,
Sturgis is the bar, then Jake's is fine. But
Hey, I will point out that I have won 0 games with Sturgis in either form, and I've won 3 games with Jake's.
no,
I haven't
Jake's is
lost a
better
game
than
with Jake's, and I
Sturgis.
played 5 with her.
That's yeah.
And she's a blast to play, but like you got to build around her.
Well, right,
The-
but
the
assuming
only,
you do.
The only reason there ever was to put Sturgis on the table was to put 100 Mechanothralls on the table.
I played against that list once with Lil 2 and
And
Mark.
it's still hot
it-
garbage.
It was.
Oh, no, it was awful.
You
but
throw
I-
a couple AoEs and you just got
Yep,
it.
I just built a Scather wall and then one on scenario.
Yeah, no, I played Lich 2 into it, and it was like...
Oh my god! I don't even need to like excarnate these bile thrones. I'm just gonna walk forward and purge.
Over like 3 turns, I had like a 6 model Gorman bomb, a 5 model Gorman bomb. Like my Siren hit like 2 8-man sprays.
Ugh.
So now I know we've beat the shit out of Xerxis 1 and
Who is the
Lich
worst caster?
2. Now, have we talked about any of the other casters, such as someone like Sturm and Drang or anybody else like that?
Whoa, Sturm and Drang's legit.
Yeah,
They are legit.
Minions got really,
Yeah, I
really
think
strong
Sturm and
markets.
Drang's Minions
I'm
have a bad
impressed how
caster?
good they
No.
are right now.
Maybe Helga.
So I would
Maybe.
argue Helga is ridiculous. I think Sturm and Drang have a little bit of a struggle, but it's because it's a higher skill cap to play them. But
I
I
can
think
see
that-
that.
Sure.
I can totally see
Like,
that.
I don't think they're bad.
No, I don't think
No,
they're
I
bad
think
at all.
they're actually quite good. We've been experimenting with them recently in my store, and I've been very impressed with the stuff he can pull
No,
off.
Sturm and Drang I think is
Yeah.
good. TK on a caster.
Yeah, TK is a dumb spell.
Yeah.
Like,
TK and just their ability to flip back and forth is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, I think Rask is getting a lot of light right now with the throwing snake and everything.
Even
Flying
without
snake, or whatever you want to call it.
even without the flying
Uh-huh.
snake though, Rask is incredibly.
yeah, a plus 6
incredibly
damage swing is ridiculous.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And
Well,
the
even
feet,
like the friggin' what are the little guys? The snapper missiles or whatever you want to call them.
the bull
Yeah,
snappers.
they go to what, 18?
Oh yeah,
Power
they're,
18.
they're
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous.
PAL
Man.
18 charge living models for free plus 2 inches.
Oh yeah,
They're like, oh, I
pretty
killed your
fantastic.
Warpole Stalker, so I guess my activation ends.
That is
So
not.
I
a
mean,
bad
is
place to
killing
be.
a Warpwolf Stalker that big of an accomplishment, though? Let's be honest.
Are you still
feels like
implying
it.
that anything you just said is worse than Arcadius in any way?
No, we're just
Arcadius is perfectly fine.
Arcadius
That
is
is not
fucking
balanced.
nuts.
Wait, so are we rating Arcadius number 7 then?
no,
No, no,
Arcadius
no.
is
He's number 1,
Is
or maybe
number 1.
0.5.
We,
That guy's legit.
we're discussing
Number one on the
how
table and number
delightful
one in our
Sturm
That guy
and
will
Drang
come
were.
to your house. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would say
better.
Arcadius is better than Tuna.
I say Arcadius has to go to the top of the list just for sheer fact he's not going to shit all over your house like all the other casters will. I mean, he at least is going to respect and have a nice dinner with you.
People are freaking about Crusher, and Arcadius just has war beasts that do that. Like nobody seems to care. Oh, they get a free charge before they activate.
So this would be perfect if I could take Alton Ashley, but apparently Scorn can't.
Mistakes were
Take
made.
Ord Midwinter.
Yeah, that kind of sucks though.
That's not the same.
Yeah, he's not Alton Ashley.
So
He's not.
Xerxis won worst caster in the
He's
game.
almost
can't
the
take Alton
exact
Ashley.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ord Midwinter is probably
At
one of
least
the
we got
closest
there.
opposites in the game
Yeah.
to Alton Ashley.
I don't know what I want the last 5 points of this list to be, but I like everything else.
There is so many options you don't even know what to do.
Yeah, basically.
Take like Min Beast Handler.
It's Xerxes.
Agonizer again,
Beast
right?
Handlers are just wasted points.
Wait, what?
I'd table you with it.
Let's agree to disagree about
It's
that, Grump.
Xerxes with 2 cannoneers.
Speak into the mic.
We knew that. We knew that was
Mistakes
coming.
were made.
Xerxes with
no.
2
Cannoneers are
cannoneers.
legit now.
Xerxes.
They're not bad, but I'm just saying, no beast handlers is.
Hold on,
I mean,
start
the
it-
last
start
5
over,
points
Grump.
can be beast handlers.
Wait. You're saying
We'll agree on that. I can
Well,
live with it.
Let's have
Xerxes
them be
won
beast
back
handlers,
with
I
a
guess.
list that starts by
Did you
saying
not
there's
have Beast
2
Handlers?
cannoneers.
No, but there were
You're
5
gonna
points
have to
left.
shit
so-
my
Hey,
brains
Shirley,
out on
calm
my
down now, right?
Yeah, they're in there
We're
now
working-
because I had 5 points.
It's a work in progress, all right?
Two cannoneers.
Two
It's
cannoneers
Xerxes with 2 cannoneers.
and a Fury 5 Warlock.
You know they're way better than they were in Mark
no,
II.
they
the
are.
cannoneers are fine.
Yeah,
the fact
all right.
that they're going to frenzy every turn.
No, they're not. You don't have to force them to full every turn.
You do.
When you put a Gorax in your list, you're like,
fine.
to 4! All the way!
But the point of a cannoneer is that he's going to cast first strike and double boost.
So
He's range
cannoneers
12.
can be better than they were in Mark. They can be better.
Now he does.
It could be a
We
Gobber
fixed the problem. Don't worry.
We
They
fi-
can be better than they were in Mark II and still be the worst heavy war beast in the game.
I mean, they're
That- that
not the
wasn't
worst
bad.
heavy war
That's
beast in
not
the game.
true. The
Did you
Archidon.
read a Warhog in Mark II?
Have you seen how
It was
cool
like
it looks with
Jack
a little arm
Arm
pulls the
6
trigger on the big
and
arm
like
cannon?
cause 12 damage to each spiral to gain a Fury. That's literally what a Warhog.
By the way, they didn't get much better.
No, no, they got better.
They
They
got
got
the worst
quite a bit
way
better.
better.
12
no,
damage,
their
it was
aggression
6. So.
dial got the worst better.
Right.
They also got like +3 to their stats.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of
They
important.
did.
Yeah.
+1 speed, +2 def.
Let's be real. If you're playing minions, you're probably playing Gatorman Battle Group, Pig non-Battle Group.
Arcadius is
Okay,
a
it's
thing.
fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Arcadius is ridiculous. Rask is unreal.
Mhm.
Arcadius is the fucking bomb.
All right, so no one cares. This is Xerxes list.
Let's get back to the
Back to factions that are
yeah,
below
high
me.
point.
And I will elaborate on all of these choices.
Okay.
Carry on.
Go.
All right.
Carry on, my
Can't
wayward
wait to
son.
hear it.
It's Xerxes.
Power hour?
No, we're gonna make Xerxes great again. It's
People tell me, they say,
Yeah.
Xerxes is the best.
just really, just the greatest. All right, it's
Someone
Xerxes.
needs to go get it.
You guys gotta hear this,
I'm
Jazz.
hearing it.
We're listening.
Xerxes, 2 cannoneers.
All right, we're there.
Forget what they were in Mark II. They're great.
No, I like
Yeah.
cannoneers.
Crump, fill us
Right.
in the greatness of
Right.
Cannoneers right now.
Tyrant Redeem. I assume I'm pronouncing that right.
Sure.
2 Paingiver solos, the Blood Runner.
4
Death-
inch badasses.
No,
you
How are
like
you
that
lost
guy?
on those sweet
They're
characters?
mad at he like Thresher dudes with anatomical
And
precision
they,
and,
like,
sprint.
Yeah,
They've
they
always
like,
been-
Are there
fucking hit you
infantry
from
in
like
your way?
19 inches.
Yeah,
They've always
They're
done that.
fucking ridiculous.
No, they're
But
better,
better now.
They're
because
better now
solos
because
are
now they're
amazing.
Mat 9, and they have Apparition, which I don't think they had
They're
before.
Mat
Yeah,
Because they benefit from each other's veteran leader.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Suck
do that.
my
And they,
Blood Runner
Trencher
cock.
flank
they
self.
did. They
On
did
top
not have
of that,
apparition
solos
before.
just kick ass now compared to before.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So there's those 2. Ferox, a max unit. And then Cetrati with Vorkesh. And then Handlers.
All right.
Wait, so you have Redeem, but you have nothing with him to flank.
What is he flank?
What?
He flanks with.
He doesn't flank, he just armor pierces.
No, he's
Oh,
just
he armor.
AP.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
You're thinking
the
of
circle guy.
Yeah.
Moria.
Who
Yeah.
lost that? No, he lost Weapon Master.
Yeah.
He can't do 5 dice anymore.
So the selections
The
here,
one that always works.
the selections here are as such because Tactical Supremacy is a very good spell, especially on shield wall units.
Sure.
So your Cetrati can move 10 inches a turn
So
and shield wall.
It's true.
and not have Defender's
is-
Ward on them.
He is hands
Correct.
down the
Okay.
best Cetrati caster
Wait.
in the faction.
Wait. Why can't Sotrati have
They-
Defender's Ward on him?
They could have
Because
Defender's
you need
Ward on
tactical
them.
Because you have tactical supremacy on them.
They
I'm
they
sorry.
could have Defenders on
I know
them
you
if
like
want
Battle
them.
Charge and Road to
Xerxes has.
Yes, I know.
You can't have
Why
both.
does the Citrati?
Oh, you ruined my reality so much.
No, Defender's Ward goes on Ferox, who have dodge now with what's his face.
Ferox.
So they're like,
It's
Ferox are good.
Feroxes because they're so scary.
No,
Yeah,
they're
okay.
good.
Har.
Alright. So they're
Defender's Ward and
15,
Ferox
19
is
with
bad.
dodge.
That's a really good
On
sound.
his feet, they'll just kill literally whatever, and they can touch like anything.
No, yeah, they're good.
And you got Blood Runners to kill out all the dudes that are in your Citrati's biz, and then they sprint through your Citrati to get out of their way, and then Citrati are like, oh man, I can go kill stuff.
What
It's
about
legit.
I don't know if the points work out, but what about Sentinels over Cannoneers? Just because
Sure.
they shoot farther?
The reason I wanted Cannoneers is because the plan was like have 2 Cannoneers put 2 boosted shots into a heavy, and then have like 3 Ferox kill it, and then reposition 3. Like that was the logic.
I can
Was
see
like
that. Or
I
even
don't
maybe
that way I
redeem
don't
that point.
or yeah that way I don't have to commit the entire unit of Ferox to kill a heavy.
If
Give
it's,
me, like,
if it's
half.
not reaching, send redeem in first to see what you do and see if you can clean it.
Yeah.
I'll play you with this
So,
list.
so the
tomorrow.
actual
No, it looks like
the
a good
scored
list.
player
It
here
turns
is like,
out I put
oh my
thought
God,
into my
we're not
score
doing
list
this.
and
No,
like
no, that's fine.
overlapped synergies and ideas, and was like, okay, this unit might run into this problem, so I could select these pieces to fix that unit's potential problem, and then
So, Crump,
The
you're
problem
saying
I
that you
see-
What you're
use
saying is
synergy
it's
instead of
straight worse than
scornergy?
Your
What you're
logic,
saying
your
is
logic
that
here is
you're smarter than all the other scoring
no,
players
no.
out
The
there.
logic
No,
here is
just
these
no
things
guys who
going
hate
plays are
that's what he
bad.
said.
Don't dig that ditch, all right? Don't dig that ditch.
You're exactly right. Scorn players are bad, but also
Zol wanted
yeah,
to
all
strictly
right. So
better.
okay, let's think about. Let's think of your
Oh.
average. Let's say I'm killing Mad Dogs.
you said my least favorite word. That's
Hold-
all one.
Hold up.
I mean, this Xerxes
You don't like
list kills
Zol?
at least
You don't
6
like
Mad
Zol?
Dogs a
Literally
turn.
go die.
is a
Yeah, at least
fucking
6 Mad
disaster.
Go
Dogs.
die and shove yourself
Wait,
up your
wait.
own ass.
How many hit points do Mad Dogs have?
Hit points 31.
No, they're like 11, 18, right?
Yeah.
So Cannoneers like 2 Cannoneer shots is like 14 damage on a turn, and then Redeem is
So,
charging at like.
Congratulations.
Hold on, wait,
you
wait.
killed one
I just realized
7-point ward
That 30 turns of 2 Cannoneer shooting wipes all but one of those off the table. That's pretty good.
Hey, don't worry. The beast handlers will handle the counter charge. You're good.
we could deal with the normal calculation, which I do, which is like an armor 12, like an armor 19 heavy. So it's like 12 damage, redeems another 10. So like that's like another
10?
no, that's like another 12
Oh,
because armor piercing.
Redeem's
power
armor
12,
piercing.
like,
You're
does
getting-
stuff.
You'll kill like one with
minus
just
6,
redeem.
yeah, it's about 10. Is he a weapon master?
Might as well be.
So it's like 12. So 12 and 12 is like 24
I mean,
Armor piercing, right?
because 6 from each cannoneer.
they start slamming each
And
other
then-
into the defenders warded models, and yeah.
On a
Haters
scale
gonna
of
hate,
0
man.
to 15 Mad Dogs,
I mean-
I give this list 2 Mad
By the way-
Dogs.
Whoa! Whoa! Shots fired.
I want to point out the biggest problem I see in the dojo is that, like, literally people think this model itself alone has to be able to kill that model
sure.
by itself.
No,
That's,
yeah,
that's
that's
why a
fair.
lot of
That's
people
totally
suck
fair.
at Legion.
Yeah.
Like, they can't understand how, you just put 5 things into that and then back the fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you play the game.
Yeah, it's
You just
magnificent.
remove things without losing anything.
Yeah. Wait, it's positional. Like the
Yeah, it's
the
a big part of
dojo
it.
the dojo fallacy that you see is based on ignoring like what you can do positionally. If you can be not where you were when you killed that thing, that's worth almost another whole piece. If you have like what it takes to deny like counterattack and all that. Yes, I agree. I still don't think the shoot with Cannoneers plan is
Plus,
great,
if they
but
get
I
into your cannoneers, he makes them like boss. They're just like, what? Cannoneers with Xerxes can hit like fucking trucks.
On the
They're like-
feet? Or?
Yeah,
On the feet
or just
turn.
POW
on the feet
18.
turn.
Yeah,
No,
POW
no,
18
they
have
can't.
these
No,
things.
warrior
always
models.
no.
Warrior models.
What?
Warrior
No.
only.
Yeah, they're POW 16, and then there's beast handlers in the list.
But so Xerxes
literally
does nothing.
everyone
so
does that.
that's what you're
Everyone
saying.
does
or you can make them super
Zaadesh
and
does-
Xerxes is.
All right. So on a
So would
scale
this
of 1
list
to
just
2,
be better
Xerxes
with a
won it.
non-Xerxes
I'm pretty sure
caster?
anyone but Xerxes is better at running
Would you-
that exact
If
list.
you
Yeah.
took this
What if
exact
we just
list
put
with
Resheth in
Resheth, yeah, exactly.
That seems
What if you
better
just did
than
Resheth?
Is that like the Haley 2 problem, but for a shit faction?
No, because Resheth is not Haley 2. Xerxes 1 is just the opposite.
Yeah. Well, no.
I
like,
actually
Sigmar-
think you-
Depends on what you want.
I
Like,
think you put a lot of thought in the list, and that list definitely works well
Wait,
together.
So
And
is the
so I
answer-
like it. I just think that he starts further back than almost any caster. It looks like he brings a lot to the table, but when you actually look at what you're getting out of each piece, it is pretty small.
like,
The problem
Scorn,
being
like, lost all their damage buffs, right? Pretty
what?
much.
They didn't lose in rage.
No. But I mean, like on their casters, except for
No,
Fatty
just
McTubba
Fury.
Pants.
No, Xerxis lost.
Xerxis
his
is
damage
the only
buff.
one that lost his damage buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing, honestly, that really pisses me off is Butcher 1 was okay, but Xerxes was over the top. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Well, I think
There's a lot of
But I
things
don't
that were
understand.
OP
I
that
literally,
need to
as a
be
KO player, I
adjusted.
don't understand.
I think they killed a lot of his
It's designed as intended. Don't worry.
Scorn feels like
Working as intended.
It was intended as intended.
Intended as intended. I said it clearly.
My impression is that the factions were designed sequentially, and like Kador, Trolls, there's a couple other like Protectorate. These factions feel completely finished. Scorn is like one of the last ones. Like they didn't get to this one.
They're like, well, we can't just make Butcher 1.
I would
and Scorn
argue
again.
that
That's dumb.
not necessarily sequentially, but I think that there were things that were established emotionally, and they looked at what the player base was going to react to, and they said that we need to do this to get the right response from the player base.
Oh yeah,
and then reacted to that.
Definitely a consequence of that.
We need to kill.
He got hit with the biggest sledgehammer on the planet. Is that what you're saying?
Casualty of
literally dropped a cinder block in his head and said, "We'll see what comes out from underneath
Only
that."
because he had so much farther to fall than Xerxes
No,
one
that-
did.
I think
the momentum just did so much more damage when he hit bottom.
Hey, you don't need to keep rubbing it in. That's all I'm saying. Right?
I mean, I think
you cut me deep, boy.
I think that's true, but I think that's also like confirmation bias. You have that in every faction, but like
confirmation bias in Scorn is super bad right now.
Yeah,
like Scorn's bad. See, they haven't won anything. It's like, how many Scorn players do you see go to events? Well, yeah, because they're bad.
But I also think that
Maybe
as you
that's
look
why.
at these new factions, you got a lot of things you got to look at. Because I mean, I dropped playing Crix consistently and went to another faction and came back to them. And there's a lot of things that their playstyle changed and they're still competitive.
Yeah.
But the problem is that's not the competitive way I wanted to play them. So that draws me out of playing that consistently. Where if it was the same style I played before, I would continue to play it. Where it's not. So now I'm sitting here trying to contemplate, do I want to go back to Crix or do I want to keep faction jumping until I find something that feels like what it used to feel like?
So I abandoned Scorn because I thought they were uncompetitive when they were good. They also style changed to something worse.
Better than Cable.
I can say that I went through that a lot with Trolls walking into Mark III. Like I played Trolls a lot in Mark II. It was predominantly Mark II. Like, and the Trolls style, like the troll lists that I played were typically like more beast brick focused, which is fine because Trolls still do that just fine. But like I couldn't play Doomshaper 3 the way I wanted him to play. I couldn't play Doomshaper 1 the way I wanted him to play. So like it was actually easier for me to kind of step away and look at another faction with a fresh set of eyes, something I haven't played before at all. And then like now that I've actually done that, like I can look at Trolls now and I'm actually comfortable coming back to them and I look forward to it.
I think the reason Xerxes lost Fury specifically is because they looked at it and they said, well, how much damage can a Juggernaut do with Butcher 1? And they're like, well, it can do this much damage, which is a shitload. And they're like, well, how much damage can like a Bronzeback do under Xerxes 1? And because the Fury mechanic exists, it's noticeably higher because he gets more attacks because he's allowed more.
Well, it's also how much can a Warbeast do that costs 50% more?
Sure, and that's part of the question.
No,
we're
yeah.
talking about. And
Sure.
I think that's why they were
I buy
too
that.
afraid. And it might be that maybe just Gladiators, because Gladiators, I think, is the closest comparison to a Juggernaut in Hordes.
Yeah,
because it's only 2 points more, and its damage output is very considerable.
It's the only one that hits like a mainline heavy and isn't fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's not like 18 points.
Yeah.
Like even Scythians. Like Scythians are 18 points, and a Gladiator will noticeably outpunch it. It's just slower.
Cannoneers.
It's not slower once you consider its animus.
Once you consider slip.
Once you have to pay for it.
But
for it.
you got that like 14.
Its own animus is much more convenient. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's very few lists you can argue a Seraph is bad in.
Gladiator.
And it's always because of point slot. It's always because of that.
It's rough to pay 14 points.
Yeah. There's no list you wouldn't like a Seraphim. Just like there's no list you wouldn't like a Gladiator.
I don't know. There's lists I wouldn't like a Seraphim. There is.
Well, it's because it costs too many.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Sure.
Like if you had equal points, it's almost always a trade.
Well, and it's you're trading off like a business-ish selection. Like you're trading off about 12 points of business for 12 points of battle group, mostly support.
12 points.
How much are Seraphs?
14.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Well, they're in the same
cost,
bracket.
but
Yeah.
Slipstream
You're like your 10 to 14 points is the same bracket, and then your 15 to like 20 is the same bracket. Like Yeah. Seraph, you're trading out like a light to medium business unit for it, and sometimes it's worth it. But your consideration is cost, not does this do anything? And as is often the case in scoring, the answer is no.
I almost think that you're looking at two different questions, though. Because I think the Seraph asked one question of what utility you're going to get out of this, along with what you're going to be able to use this for, versus the Gladiator is if you can screen for it enough to get it up there, it's going to do the work.
Right. People forget that Gladiators are like Mat 6, POW 16.
Yeah,
with
before that's what we're talking about.
As a long-time scoring player, that
and
Mat
has
6
one of the
is
best
a-
animus in the game.
that
Gladiators
Mat 6
hit
is
as
a
hard as
bummer.
Juggernauts for the same
Every
points,
like
essentially.
heavy is like Mat 6 except for characters. Except for in Mark III when they decided to dial some Warmachine ones up for some unknown
All
reason.
of the War Machines.
Generally speaking, a Warjack is better than a Warbeast for equal points.
On the stat line, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost no argument, but you're playing with
but
either
in most
utility
cases, your
abilities,
heavy
they just
war
don't
beasts.
have animi.
It's like think.
Well, they don't
like,
have
actually
anti,
think
and
back to
in
Mark
most
II.
cases, a heavy
Even in
war
Mark II,
beast
they
is
have
going to
Mat
one more attack or
They weren't
two
really Mat 7.
than what a warjack.
No, the Mats
But-
generally.
Even the even number of attacks, the important thing is Warjacks consistently have a primary weapon that's like 2 to 3 points higher than Warbeasts. That's a really big deal.
That of the Warbeasts that actually see play is false.
It's the volume of attacks is usually
There's
where
not
they
a
get
POW
Well,
19 War Beast.
The volume attacks, but at the same time,
Okay.
most war beasts have some way to
but that-
boost their
that, like-
strength,
Yeah,
where
but they're
most
on, like,
warjacks do
18.
not.
like a Juggernaut can't get prime.
Well, are we talking like caster independence here? Because like as soon as you're factoring in casters, I think the old lead of like just independent of casters reasserts itself in favor of Warjack.
Looking at
I think if you
independent
take
models
all
in
the
vacuum,
casters
maybe,
out,
but-
I mean, Circle, you have Primal, you've got Rage and Scorn, and you've got other factors within the other factions. And I think that in all the other Hordes factions, where in the Warjack factions, you don't necessarily have as many boosts like that.
It's probably about even across the board.
I agree.
They have
They have
Black Frost
Harm.
Shard, which nobody ever takes for some reason.
Yeah, they have Harm and they have Wraith.
I mean, the only War Machine faction that really sticks out aside from that is Mercs.
So this is a
Mercs is probably the prime example of like
this is a common
Damage buffs that are
conversation
hard to.
that
Ridiculous.
pops up in my neck of the woods, and like I actually don't think that you can look at anything independently of the faction that it's in, because everything is built around the faction that it's in, right? So
This is why we rated Zaadesh higher than Horgle.
right,
Boom.
exactly. So
That's
like
a nice
it's
way to
really
bring
hard
it
for me
back
to look
around.
at the argument of like
Boom,
a
podcast.
war beast versus a warjack and look at that and say like
Carl, you're
warjacks
me.
are inherently better.
Well, no, sure, but we're taking that. We're trying to consider the options available as well. We're not just saying that clearly Warjacks are better. Look at their stat line, but I see what you're saying.
I think, unfortunately,
yeah.
you look at the internet, though, and the internet's sitting here saying, oh my lord, Warjacks are ridiculous.
Tell you what,
and they're
let me
not
just
taking the
get in
picture.
line to listen to those fucking Scornweeder grabbers tell me how bad they
Don't get me started on the Scornwiener grabbers, because, I mean, that's a whole different story altogether. But I think that too often, as we look at what's going on in the meta and what's going on online, it's two very drastically different pictures.
That's
And
true.
anybody who knows me will flat out know I'm the laziest motherfucker out there.
Fact.
And I'm not looking at anything that's going on online. I literally show up and play whatever the fuck I feel like playing. And pardon my language, this is not a adult podcast, but
No, it's a
This is
baby podcast.
Our
for babies.
slogan
Thank
is
you.
explicit as
well,
fuck.
fuckity fuck then. But
Elton
at the
Wargame, a baby podcast.
at
for
the end of the
babies.
day, I mean,
An
I
explicit
think
baby
too often
podcast for
the
babies.
internet cries wolf before what's really happening in the meta. And I think that if you really sat down and looked at Hordes versus War Machine, I think as you look at Warjacks versus War Beasts, there's a very even playing field. And I think that the changes they've made has really raised the bar. And unfortunately, the reality of when you have one gaming system that you're trying to incorporate with another, you are never going to get 100% balance between the two.
Sure.
But I would say that where we currently are at is better than where we're at in Mark
Oh,
II.
sure. It's
Agree
definitely
100%.
hands down
Agree
the
with that.
closest they've ever come by a large margin.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I
agreed.
like the state of Mark III now more than I liked 6 years of Mark II. Like the endpoint we were at, I like this is
There-
the happiest I've ever been.
I don't know.
There
I
was
feel like-
maybe a 6-month period of
Mark
Mark
II was amazing when they just didn't start going like full retard
No, like
with
20,
themes.
like,
before-
like 2013
before
Mark
E
II was actually
Yeah.
really good.
2013 Mark II was great, but here's the problem.
But you still had Lich
was the
2,
peak
you
of
still had
Lich
Scar
2,
1.
We hit
Like-
a point where Mark II got stale, and I think that there was a factor that as we progressed through Mark II, they started making minor changes. But now, as we moved into Mark III, we're in an environment where we're in a living game, and I don't think people have realized that yet. and I think that what comes out in January is going to really be a really defining point
Yeah, I think so too.
on how this game moves forward. But I really am excited at where we're at right now, because if when we hit January and we see some major changes to this game, I think that's going to be a really, really defining point moving forward, and we can realize that we're in a living game compared to a game that minorly changes from year to year. And I think that would be a fantastic place to be, and I think it would push competitive players and would also create an environment that lets new players enter the meta very easily.
That's the important one, is the access for new players, but I actually really liked where Mark II was at toward the end of its lifespan, where it was like competition was generally arriving at a point where you cut the shit, and you were mostly like, you weren't playing rando
You
garbage.
play eat or get out, scrub.
Well, you weren't playing rando garbage. You were mostly focused on playing the positioning game, and like the game tended more towards strategy and less toward like.
All I did was
extreme
play
pieces.
rando garbage.
I think
You're not arguing, Crump. I mean,
there was no
there was
surprises.
something.
Have you met
Everyone
Chuck
knows-
Ellswick?
Everyone's playing the same game.
I would
The
argue that
the game had started to mature.
the
Like, there
game
was-
matured, but I think you had your stable of power casters, but I think a solid dark horse would be able to come in and make a solid place for themselves.
So there's
Like Cassius, I'm just saying.
There's
Because everyone
strategy.
was
There's
so-
strategy level 1, the things that are overtly powerful, and then there's strategy level 2, which is the things that counter strategy level 1, but also tend to lose against a lot of their peers.
So
And then there's strategy level 3, which counters strategy level 2, but strategy level 3 doesn't fucking matter because it loses to its peers, and it loses to some of the peers in tier 2, and it loses to all of tier 1.
don't
This
hate
isn't
rock,
Magic
paper,
the Gathering,
scissors.
by the
Lost
way.
me.
No,
but
no,
that guy will
what I'm-
fuck up your tournament run.
What I'm saying
And then
is,
there's tier 5.
Don't take it
Chuck
2 levels
Ellswick.
too far.
What I'm
It's
saying
rock,
is-
paper, scissors with
what
an
I'm-
extra
No,
Spock and
it's not,
lizard.
It's
Don't
not
worry.
rock, paper, scissors, because tier 3 doesn't beat tier 1. You throw out all the edge case stuff, you throw out all the things that are like extreme and weird, and you just focus on what's competitively reliable all the time and what beats it a good portion of the time, and you just play that limited game. The limited game is great.
So
I think that what you're saying is legit, but I also think that at the end of Mark II, it became very much, it separated the players and the competitive players from your middle level, and I think that's always going to be the case.
Because
And I think that you can have your A, B, and C, but your A, B, and C, like, it doesn't matter. You can be A, B, or C, but if you're going to be a better player, you're going to outplay those A players, B players, and C players if you're playing at your top of your game.
the problem being that because the game is so strategically based and not as much on the luck side, is because basically we had figured out the meta to the point where only people at the top tables knew what they were doing, and they're playing the same 10% stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
fair.
It's so impossible to break into that because you have to learn the entire game, then get the 10%, play it enough to be as good as other people are at it, and then play it into them. That was the only way you could break into the top.
No, yeah, I agree with you, and I think, like,
And that's why it was more flawed than what we have now.
maybe, yeah,
We're
I
close.
agree with that, and maybe I romanticize it because I broke into the 10%.
Yeah, when you make
At
it
the-
to that level in that period, it's always going to be your favorite spot.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
when I got good.
Well, I mean, getting good and getting to the point where you can compete with a lot of those
Right.
things are two very different levels.
Yeah,
Because I think
wrap it
that
up. Oh, yeah,
in Mark
yeah.
II, you hit a level where if you got very good with one or two lists, you could be very consistent. I think with the change to Mark III, it creates a new environment where I think one list is, if you can get good with one list, it's very good. But that second list is really in question. And I think that the difference between your top tier and your like mid-tier casters is much smaller. And I think that's going to continue to shrink as they continue to adjust that 5% as they claim.
Well, a certain portion of that is like the players, like all of us here, don't know which way is up. Like we're still figuring that out. Like I'm totally sold on the SoCal theory of gun carriage trumps rifle corps. But like that's
Oh
not
god,
a-
this podcast is
like,
gonna go another
do you
2
guys-
hours now.
Do you
We
guys
just win the
not- wait,
dumpster.
do you guys not think the gun Do you not think the gun carriage is legit?
No. So
I
the-
do. Gun
carriage is
except for the job of killing a caster, a gun carriage is almost in every job better than rifle corps.
I don't necessarily argue that. The
Well, I
only
mean,
thing I
but
would say
that's-
is, and I'm not, and this is not getting in rifle corps versus gun carriage, but what I want to point out is, I think as we move forward, that this meta is going to continue to shift much quicker than we've ever been used to.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think that if they adjust as they're claiming they're going to adjust, that top 5%, bottom 5%, you're going to definitely not be able to get the bearings we used to have and saying, oh, this caster's the bomb versus this caster. And I think that, if they do things right, January we're going to come in, Wormwood and Mandrake and Haley 2 are not going to be your top casters anymore.
January comes around. I think if they do things right, they correct Mandrake, they correct Wormwood, they correct a couple other pieces, and they don't touch most of the game.
I'd like to see a lot of the bottom stuff get just pushed up.
Delivers will be the bomb.
I think they'll be
what?
Xerxis 1, got you, boy.
I think the
Xerxis would be a good spot.
I think the bottom always needs
File
more
thralls will
attention
be the
than
bomb.
because the shit that's like crap, if it moves to mediocre, no one cares.
I-
But like
No one cares until someone finds the niche that fits.
Yeah.
so the discovery speed in Warmachine and like the settling of the meta takes way longer than the errata cycle.
Yeah, if the errata cycle's 6 months, that's not good enough.
It's almost too fast.
It's way too fast.
Yeah.
Like the problem is,
I'm out.
The problem is they keep like describing like comparing the erratas to like a game like League or like Dota or something like that, where like you always have these patches coming out, but like how many people have this is way bigger, like, because how many people have all of the models that are like these terrible models that are just trash? Like, who's testing them out? Oh, okay, you buff
and then
these
your
models,
bombardiers
buddy.
get CR.
I wouldn't
You gotta
say
go
that
buy
you're-
3 units of bombardiers.
Like
Bombardiers are
seriously.
fucking sexy. Back your ass
No.
off, first of all.
No.
Second of all,
False.
I don't think that you're going to see these drastic swings. I think you're going to see gradual adjustments.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the right place to go.
yeah, so that's exactly.
I think you're
what
right, though. I think the meta, I think it's interesting.
Carl,
The
you
meta-
just stepping on your buddy
That's
over here?
fine.
What the hell?
Yeah.
He's got a sweet hat
yeah,
going
Kyle,
on.
it's
shut
fine.
the fuck up.
It's fine.
Oh, sorry. I interjected myself too soon. I apologize.
No, I think the meta is going to shift more. That's and you're not going to be able to settle into kind of the rhythm of what we used to be able to.
I think
You
that's
can't just
good,
play
though.
Lich 2 for 3 years and perfect that list. And I do think it's good.
I think it's good because, I think it boils down to you're going to have to learn as a competitive player how to compartmentalize and learn how to play a specific unit or a specific grouping of solos and unit attachments to be effective. And as those casters switch out to be your most effective casters, you bounce those out with the units that you're playing. I think that would be a very fantastic place to be.
Adaptation and quick learning is going to become much more important than it was in March.
I think so too.
100.
That's my wheelhouse.
And you can see it already because the people that are like winning the higher end events so far in Mark III are not necessarily the same people that are winning.
Yeah.
Because
Yes
some of them
and
might
no.
just been burned out on Mark
also,
II.
Yeah, we've also had like a mass wave of competitive retirements over the course of 1 year. So
Yeah.
Well, I would say so.
Yeah, you can. Nobody else.
Yeah.
can.
I'm
No
green.
one's
I play a ton of shit. I played in WTC and everything else.
no one's
And I
claimed
think
to be
at the-
lordful on the forums.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you can burn me on the forums. I don't give two fucks. But
Hey,
at the end of the day,
come see
I
me in
think
DACA.
you see some people. Burn me, please. I'm not going to read it. So please do it as much as you want. But at the end of the day, I think you've got some competitive players that realize that as they progress, that they were getting a tighter microscope on their play, and they decided that it wasn't worth having that versus what they were able to achieve. And I'm not going to read any more into that than what I just said. You can do that as on your own. But I also think that you had a lot of players that as they progressed, they realized as they moved to Mark III was now not the standard, coming of age of what they were used to. And, oh my gosh, infantry machine just got hit. Oh my gosh, that's what I played for the last 10 years. I can't fucking play it anymore. So then they said I retire. And then all of a sudden Warmachine Weekend hits, and all of a sudden these 4 or 5 players that claim they retired from the game
Are back.
are still playing the invitation.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here pointing out names, and you can go and figure out what I'm talking
Brandon
about.
Shirley.
I'm sure you can. Brandon Shirley, you
I
son of a
retired.
bitch.
Shit.
But all I'm saying is, I'm a guy who sat here and played Crix for years. I faction jumped, 5 different times?
I remember when you said, I'm done with tricks when we played.
Oh, yeah, we played.
You're like, fuck this faction. I'm playing Wormwood.
I'm in
And you
fucking
literally went and
Texas.
took someone's Wormwood tray
I literally
and went and played a game with
Yeah,
it.
I fucking played Brandon, and I dropped Crix after that was my 5th game with Crix down there. Yeah. And It was legitimate because the Crix I was trying to play was the same Crix I'd been playing in Mark II, and it didn't work.
That was the first place we went with Crix.
Yeah.
Was Gorshin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a good spot, but it wasn't the right time for it. And so I dropped that and I moved to Circle, and I did well with Circle. And going to the WTC, I went, 50%. And the games that I fucking lost, I lost one that was legit. And two of them, I just took the bullet for the team because it was the right thing to do.
Right.
And, so, I mean, I'm fine with that. And then, now I've jumped factions 3 other times. And I'm not saying that Crix is bad because I think it's fine. And I've gone
wait
back.
for the Metis supplement?
Well, and it's not that it's bad. It's where it's not my play style right now.
Right.
And so I found that some of the other factions I'm playing right now is more fit for what I'm used to. But
So
I
you're
think
playing red,
that
is what you're saying.
actually Minoth, but it's close. But that being said, I think that we're so eager to jump and say that this faction is doing the thing that I want to do, or this player, it was the defining piece of Mark II, and now we're in Mark III, and it's so different. And I think that at the end of the day, we got to realize who we're dealing with and realize that some people are so uber competitive, they don't really look at, I got to spend some time to get used to this. And I think Mark III is in a much better place, and they don't have that defining line where it used to be a huge gap between people, and now it's a tighter gap, and they can't deal with it.
It's a much
don't
better.
have it,
It's because there's not the experience advantage that some people have.
My favorite is people just spend half of their time complaining about certain things that are overpowered.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten Winter Guard out of my bag all weekend. I don't plan to.
So do you?
The real question is, on the scale of 1 to 9, do we rate the 2017 errata better or worse than Zaadesh?
It's definitely better. It's definitely better than
Definitely
Zaadesh
better than Zaadesh.
because that's where it's going to put all of Scorn.
I give you permission.
Yeah. Okay. We need to wrap up.
All right, we're going to wrap up. All right, this has been Chili.
This is in Tribogre.
This has been Keith.
Not doing it. No.
Ben, pretend to be somebody.
And this is Crump.
I don't know any of the names, though.
Yeah.
I know.
Crump was actually on the podcast, you idiot.
This has been Lance.
No, he meant Adam Crump.
Yeah. This is Adam.
Crump.
Actually, like.
Yeah. The good Crump. You meant the good Crump.
And I'm Chad.
Nobody else? Jeremy said he had a filter that would make all of this not talk over each other and be totally clean. So if it's not like that, it's Jeremy's fault.
100% Jeremy's fault.
Jeremy, why'd you do this?
That's one thing.
I'm pretty sure that
Mainly, I've just gotten lazy
All right,
lately.
let's go get drunk.
The car ran real good.
You mean we aren't already?
I don't know what to do.
Lord.
No, Kim knows what the incident is.
The incident?
Sometimes good coffee's okay.
Sometimes. Good thing I'm recording. That's definitely going up where the school can download it.